There we go. Sorry, I was muted. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. Tonight, it's actually been a really long time. First of all, I do want to mention that. It's been a really long time since we had a stream, over a month, I believe. But we're back. Want to introduce everyone, starting with Ken, going to Bob. So, Ken, want to start us off?
I'm here. It's Ken. Just Ken.
And Ken has a new title now. He is now the haunt connoisseur.
Yes, we've been doing a lot of haunts lately. Been introducing you to the addicting world of haunts.
Yes, it is definitely an addicting world, and we're going to continue to do that as time goes on. Sammy?
Hey guys, Sammy. Trillion Riders on Equinox since 2024. That's all I got. Not as cool as Ken.
Ace?
Hey, very simple Ace. Obviously, a big, great adventure guy for many years.
Tom?
What's up? I'm Tom. You can find me at Tom's Tracks 99 on Instagram, where I may or may not start to be a little more active. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, you can find me there.
And Bob?
Yeah, Bob from BK Photo Page. It looks like I'm underwater because I had to use the built-in webcam because the $2,000 camera is not cooperating to be used as a webcam apparently.
Of course. And I'm seeing everyone's comments about my screen being too dark. I just turned on light mode on StreamYard, so that should help. But welcome to the stream. I know. Oh, okay then. We are starting off quickly with the super chats. Thank you, Jen, for the super chat. How do I join a coaster club? Well, we actually have the president of a coaster club with us right now. Bob, you want to help them out?
I mean, it's as easy as picking one and then going to the website and paying your money, and they'll send you your card and information and all that stuff. I mean, depending on where you live, like I'm the Great Ohio Coaster Club, so all of our stuff is Ohio and the states touching Ohio. But if you're in like Jersey, you might want to be with either Ace or Buzz Bars or one of those that have stuff out that way. If you're elsewhere, it just depends. That would be the deciding factor on which one to join, would be depending on where you are. But yeah, we'd love to have you in GOCC if you're in our area, though.
It's been so long since we've done a stream that I didn't have the horn queued up, but I will do better next time. We're getting that on.
There you go, Tom. Had to remind you.
It really has been a while, but with it being a while, we do have some topics we're going to discuss first. And I see everyone's questions in the chat. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring you guys. We will get to those after we finish our discussion about the preset topics that we have. And for those of you asking about Ka, don't worry, I will talk about it. Just give me a little bit of time. So first up, we are going to start with Halloween haunts. It is haunt season. Of course, all the parks have converted themselves into haunt, Halloween weekends, Fright Fest, whatever they decide to call it at your local park. It probably has it. And I know almost all of us have experienced some haunts, not just amusement park haunts, but haunts in general. And I think Ken and I have probably done all of the exact same ones because everyone I've been to has been with you, Ken. So I'm going to let you start. You want to tell them about the 4 haunt experiences we've done? Is that correct? I think it's 4. Or 5. I can't keep
Dark
it's
Night.
4. Dark Night, Fright Fest,
Hershey. And then we did
Gravity Hill, and 13th Hour. 4.
Gravity Hill, 13th, and Great Adventures Extreme Fright Fest. And
so which one has been your favorite thus far?
13th Hour. 13th Hour. The thing to realize is the smaller haunts can do things that the bigger haunts can't do. So try and get to some of the smaller haunts and enjoy what they do, because the actors really put as much as they can into the experience to make it a great experience for you. And take your time going through and enjoy it. Don't rush through.
Don't stop, but a nice steady pace. That's the most important thing.
But
Sammy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
As far as the other haunts, I'm going to have to tip my hat to Hershey. Hershey does an amazing job. It's an overall, the park, the feel of the park, the haunts, the food, everything is perfect. Everything is perfect.
Definitely agree there. Sammy, what have you done so far?
Only 2. Only gotten to 2 so far. Hopefully we'll get to a couple more. Dark Nights and Extreme. Both are great events. Both do what they do very well.
Any
You're
particular?
right by
favorite
Night of
mazes?
Terror. Go to Night of Terror. Mullica
Night of
Hill.
Terror.
Mullica Hill.
Okay.
It's right by you.
Is that actually
Oh.
near me? I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, I'll check that out.
It's not far from you.
Colin, what did you say?
Do you have any particular favorite mazes out of those two that you've been to?
Ooh, I haven't done all the mazes yet, either at both. But I will highlight that I liked Manor a lot. That was really cool. So kudos to
Remind
Hershey
me
for that.
What Manor is, or is A State of Evil?
A State of Evil. That's what I
Okay.
meant. I just think Estate, Manor, same thing.
Right.
That was I thought that was really good, and I'm glad Hershey got another maze.
Absolutely. Ace, which haunts have you done so far?
Obviously, Dark Knights, and I was impressed with the new maze that's right in the Fahrenheit dining place.
Yeah, that's
and of
A State of
course,
Evil.
yeah, and also Great Adventures Fright Fest Extreme, and I will be doing New England's for the first time ever in about a couple of weeks. Got to get up there for the Fright Fest Extreme up there, and I may do one of the other, like Ken, whatever. We'll talk about it. The one that you and Ken and your dad went to.
It looks like we have another super chat. Tom, you have that horn ready?
There we go.
There it is. Thank you once again, Janet Ortega, for the super chat. I remember seeing Sammy on El Toro. Well, there's a variety of ways you might have seen him on El Toro. You might have seen him riding. You might have seen him working.
It's a multiple
Sammy's always
choice.
at El Toro.
It's a multiple choice.
Yes, exactly. All right, Tom.
Yes.
Halloween haunt season. How is it going for you?
So just one so far, Dark Knights, and the mazes are spectacular with the production quality. Really take a look around in the new State of Evil because there's a ton of cool Easter eggs and stuff like that. To like just the overall story, and it's been nothing short of amazing to see all those houses come back along with that new one. So that's the only thing I've done. I did really enjoy to see that some of you went to Gravity Hill growing up in Jackson. That was a pretty big staple of the Halloween season there. So I think the last time I did it, though, was 2010, so a very long time ago, which feels weird to say. But I would definitely love to go back there because I remember it being long and I remember it being really good. So,
And Tom, you have a lot of really good haunts from what I've heard from Ken out in Pennsylvania, just in that whole general area. So
yes, there is
you have a
also
lot
the
to choose
Eastern
from.
State Penitentiary. As a fun fact, I went through that for extra credit in a criminal justice class in my sophomore year of college. So definitely check that out if you're in the Pennsylvania area. But then I guess as far as what I'm going to try to get out to, it's definitely Virginia, at least King's Dominion, Knoebels for sure, because it's not too far from me either. I was going to try to go to Ohio, but now in the wake of the Siren's Curse announcement, I'm going to hold off on any Ohio travel until next year.
Tom,
And we'll be talking about Siren's Curse very soon.
Yes.
Tom, I'm going to stop you. You go to Field of Screams. It's right by you.
Yes, that is. How can I forget? That is also right around the corner. So maybe I'll check
I think
that one
clearly
out.
Ken has been looking at everybody's location to figure out what.
Oh, great.
I've been everywhere.
Exactly where all the
I've been
haunts
going
are.
for like 10 years.
Oh.
Okay.
So
And
you
then-
Ken, not to cut you
Ken
off.
has the new name of haunt connoisseur.
And
Oh,
then
now I'll be
obviously
able to
I
hold
still
that.
need Great Adventure. I'll be coming back home to do that at some point.
And
what
Ace,
do
we're
you-
going to move on. Sorry, we're going to move on to Bob. Bob, I know you haven't done any yet, but I know you have in the past. I know you have plans to, so let's hear it.
What are you asking me? I was not paying attention at all. I was reading something. I'm not big on haunts like this. Halloween's not my thing, but I'm planning. I usually get down to Kings Island at least once, maybe twice. So I will usually do a few of them when I'm down there. The one that I don't know if they brought it back or not. I was there a couple years ago, and they had it for a few years. There was one that was like themed like almost like a carnival, but more like towards like playing cards and crap like that I really enjoyed. But we'll see. I haven't heard really anything about Kings Island's haunts yet. I don't tend to go to Cedar Point during Halloween weekends, although I'm probably going to go not this week, the following week on a Thursday when it's usually dead. So I'll report back if I do any of them then.
Oh,
Sounds good. So it sounds like we're all delving into haunts a little bit here and there. Ace, you have something to add?
in regards to the haunts. I remember going to one in 2010 with a friend and his little sisters. And let me tell you something. It was in Ulster County. I'm sure y'all heard of it. Ulster, New York. It was a great haunt. Had a hayride and everything. And mazes, like about 4 mazes. I don't know if that you guys check and see if it's still open, if they still have it.
Sleepy Hollow.
I believe so. Sleepy Hollow, Ulster. Yeah.
I was gonna say if anyone would know, it would be Ken.
Is that still open, Kim?
Yeah, it's still open. Yeah.
Wow, that's a really good haunt. I recommend that one. That's one that I've been to.
Alrighty, so we're gonna move on now from the Halloween haunt discussion and talk about Cedar Point. We have 2 different things we're gonna be talking about with Cedar Point. Starting with Siren's Curse. This is the shock of the century announcement from Cedar Point. Their new for 2025 coaster. Technically their second new for 2025 coaster, if you want to consider Top Thrill 2 one of them, but we'll talk about that in a second. First up, Siren's Curse. So I'm sure everyone's wondering what I think about the ride. It looks incredible, but more so how it got there. I'm sure we've all heard the same kind of story about it starting at Energylandia, then making its way to Six Flags Mexico. They ran into issues with the government to build the ride. So then, because it was owned by the giant conglomerate, which is Six Flags now, they took it and threw it at Cedar Point, kind of as a holdover to a point because of Top Thrill 2.
I think there was more to it than that, though. I think that Cedar Point has this flat plot of land already ready to go. And
Very
it's like,
true.
yeah, so like that was a bigger part of it too, is like, all right, where can we put this right now without having to spend any more money to like, to dig up land or do anything else? And I think that was a huge part of it.
I agree. I mean, they did demo those dorms, in like 2019, right? That's
somewhere around there.
Around when they did that. I've seen some other theories that it didn't actually come from Mexico or that it was never planned to go to Mexico, but I don't buy into that. I think the story everyone's going with seems pretty accurate, but yeah. I don't want the ride to get buried in all the meddling of, if it
was intended for Cedar Point, the track would not be red. With the entire trailer being all like bluish and shades of blue and gray, like
especially considering now it has almost the exact same color scheme as Top Thrill 2, just minus all the white. But either way, the ride looks absolutely spectacular. I do think it's pretty hilarious that it's right next to Valraven, which is another 90-degree drop coaster. They're basically the same ride, just with a slightly different drop mechanism. But I think it's going to be a really good attraction for Cedar Point. It very well could be the first tilt coaster to open in the U.S., depending on what happens with the Codaland 1 circuit breaker. I don't think it'll be the first new gen Vekoma. I think Flash will still wind up winning that race. It should be open on opening day of 2025, whenever that winds up being. But Siren's Curse, they already said it's going to open in the summer, which is very un-Cedar Point-like, and that's also why I think it's probably the whole came from Mexico kind of thing. But I'm really excited for it. I'm going to let Bob go next because, Bob, this is your home park, and your home park's been getting a lot of investment lately. What do you think of Siren's Curse?
So I have like the sleeping problem, so I wake up really early anyway. So I woke up at like 5, like I normally do, and I see an email from Tony Clark dropping that, and I was like, I literally said out loud, "What the f? Like, where did that come from?" Because I don't know if you probably noticed at some point I texted you guys at like 5:15 in the morning saying, what the hell is this?"
Yep.
And I got interviewed by the news, and I was on the news, which was really funny, talking about it, and they cut the interview from like 10 minutes to like 15 seconds. I think it's interesting. Like so obviously the novelty of it is the tilt and the drop, but then after that, it's almost like a family plus coaster. Like there's not, I mean, don't get me wrong, you have 2 inversions and you have a lot of cool elements, but I don't think it's going to be this monster thrill machine everybody thinks it is, other than that drop. It's still going to be awesome, but like compared to what you were normally used to out of Cedar Point, it seems to me like it was obviously thrown at them at the last second, and like I said, more of a novelty than anything else. But we'll see. I think it's going to be cool, though.
I agree. Tom, what do you think about Siren's Curse?
It's definitely interesting. I also have my own theories about why it's going where it is, and I definitely have some hopes as to like the hope that maybe that like if there was a chance that it could have gone somewhere else, that maybe it went to go take up the Vortex plot at Kings Island. I feel like that would have been a pretty good spot for it too. But I mean, it's something new coming to Cedar Point, and it's another reason to visit. And again, hopefully if Top Thrill 2 can open next year, it's 3 more credits to me if I can get out there. But again, like I was saying earlier, with that announcement, I now don't see a need to go back till next year, which is unfortunate. But nevertheless, it's something new, so I'll never not be excited for that.
Very true. Ace, what do you think about Siren's Curse?
Very intriguing, and I was anticipating the Codaland's Circuit Breaker being my first show coaster, so now we have it at Cedar Point, so that's really nice and exciting. And it definitely pretty much takes care of what happened this year at Cedar Point. You know, y'all know what I'm alluding to, and we needed that. That'll definitely placate everybody for 2020, for 25.
You don't have to allude. You can say it.
Say that again.
I said you don't have
Well,
to allude.
it's just unfortunate with Top Thrill 2 closing for the season, and then all of the people, you know, that had season passes. At least they'd be happy. They'd probably have double pleasure in 25 with the imminent reopening of Top Thrill 2, and of course the new Siren's Curse. Such a funny name, but Siren's Curse here.
Sammy, what do you think?
I think it's funny that they got the special attention coaster out of all the Six Flags parks. But listen, you can't go wrong with another coaster at Cedar Point. They are the coaster capital, so some coaster was missing. It is a little close to Valraven, but I think it will give a different experience. And the low to the ground roll, like that first inversion, looks insane.
Definitely agree with that. Ken?
I'll honestly say when I saw the video of the one in China, that ride terrified me. And watching it now, when that thing tilts over and there's no track in front of you, it's still going to terrify me. So it's going to be a hard one for me to ride, I have a feeling.
Wow. I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
It's not the first tilt coaster in the U.S., though.
Well, there's a coaster that pretty much, it's called Insanity off the Stratosphere, and I would not ride that thing in 2000.
Well, it's not really a coaster. It's more of a flat ride.
Coaster.
That's a flat ride?
Yeah.
But the closest I've seen to that without being a coaster, that thing was a scary. Yeah, it's going to be scary. But I'm just going to try. Hopefully that can, seeing the little stops that locks you in place will assuage my fears.
All right. They're going to have to sync Valraven and Siren's Curse to drop at the same time.
That would be sweet. Maybe for Media Day, they'll run Valraven and have every train sync. But moving on, we're going to talk about the first elephant in the room, which is Top Thrill 2. So obviously, Top Thrill 2 has been kind of clouded in this air of mystery because no one really knows what's going on with it. Cedar Point is staying very tight-lipped on. I got to give them credit because they've been able to keep the lid shut on any like real news getting out about this ride for a while. And there's a ton of speculation going on about what's happening to Top Thrill 2. Obviously, there's some form of major refurbishment or modification that needs to be made to the attraction. In 2024, I believe myself, Ken, and Bob got to ride it. So half of us rode it. And I think I speak for everyone when I say the ride's absolutely spectacular. What I will say is that when it does reopen, I don't know that it'll be the same. I imagine they're probably going to be doing some pretty major modifications to the trains. I mean, we already saw pictures of them putting like weight plates on the original trains that came from Zamperla. I wouldn't be surprised if there's new ones that come. I wouldn't be surprised if there's new track that needs to be fabricated. I've heard rumblings, and I don't really like to talk about it like that, but people claim that there's structural issues with the top hat. Again, none of that's confirmed, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if maybe the old Intamin track isn't holding up as well as they thought it might. So maybe they need to have Zamperla fabricate some new track. Again, all of that is really unconfirmed. We're not going to know until the ride opens. And I imagine when the ride does open, they're probably not going to share too much about what they had to do to it. But I think the whole situation is really intriguing, combining all this with Siren's Curse's announcement. I don't think anyone would expect Cedar Point to do that. So it's really just a strange situation. Anyone else have any thoughts on what's going on with Top Thrill 2 and just the whole weird situation around it?
I think, like I told you, from what I heard through the grapevine from people was that obviously we said the trains were too light, and we figured that out because of the shimmying and everything else. And it wasn't intended for us to get flung out of our seats like that going over the top. So then they tried to make it heavier, and that just did not work the way they wanted it. And so from everything I'm hearing, they're manufacturing new trains with like 2 less rows on them that are going to be heavier is what I keep hearing from multiple different people. We'll see if that ends up being true, but it makes sense, I guess. But here we go again with more capacity things.
Yeah, it's certainly a weird situation. Sammy, you have any thoughts on the whole Top Thrill 2 debacle?
They're revamping it. That's all I know.
One way to put it.
Did I hear that right?
Revamping?
Yes.
Revamping. I think that's going to be the new phrase, like RMC it, like revamp.
Top Thrill revamped.
So we haven't started talking about Ka yet, but this does kind of correlate a little bit to it. Do you guys think that because of the issues Top Thrill has had, that
They're not going to bring Zamperla in to work on Ka, Colin? Jeez.
Okay. I mean, I always kind of had that feeling, but I don't think it's going to happen at all now.
I don't know. Let Zamperla cook for a year.
They had a year. I'm not doubting the
They did have a
company,
year.
but this was a pretty rough situation for them, for everyone involved. But that's it for the Top Thrill 2 stuff. Now let's talk about some more exciting stuff. i305/E305, the repaint. So let me pull up some pictures. These come from KD Fanatics 75 on Instagram, and it is getting repainted, which we've known for a really long time, but we didn't know what the color scheme would be until
Halloween
now.
color.
Can you guys see
Halloween
that zoom?
color.
Yeah. So
it is
the
Halloween
track
color.
is
Exactly.
bright orange now, which
Yep.
I think looks cool. And here it is with the new black supports as well. I like this look. I'm not
I
gonna
don't
lie.
hate
think it's
that.
really cool.
This is my first time seeing that. I don't hate it.
It's unique.
Is it the
I
Virginia
mean,
Devil?
do we think they're going to tie it in with the whole area? Like,
Oh,
and-
100%. It'll
so-
be cheetah themed.
So
or
what do you think
something.
orange and black is going to go to? It's not going to be a Halloween theme.
Tiger,
obviously, but-
maybe?
Yeah.
Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah, Cedar Fair likes animal themes.
They sure do. Someone says great pumpkin coaster. I love that.
Call it the Virginia Devil.
Virginia Devil.
And then
I know
Virginia
that
Devil Aaron can work on it.
on the Project 305 sign, there was like cheetah prints in the background, and everyone thought that was kind of like alluding to what the new theme would be. I think that's definitely possible. But I think what's really going to be important about this whole retheme is if they also do something to Backlot, since it's right next door, and if they're going to expand and Flight of Fear, I guess too. So if they're going to expand the theme of Jungle X back to 305 and theme it to Jungle X, it's going to be really odd that you have to walk through a car backlot thing and then an alien ride to get there. I just think, honestly, that whole area should be rethemed to become Jungle X if they're going to just do one. It doesn't really make too much sense. I mean, obviously, that takes a lot of work, especially for something like Flight of Fear and Backlot, where it's a lot of thematic elements and they'd have to redo everything, which I don't really know what they're going to do. But I do like the new color scheme. I'm excited to see an announcement come soon for what they're going to name it. Now, before we move on to what I know you're all waiting for, does anyone else have any topics you want to bring up before we get there? Crickets.
I will say the park we're going to talk about it. It's been a decent little chunk of time since I visited, so that's on deck, I guess.
All right. So the elephant in the room.
Yep.
Everyone has been asking me nonstop, have you heard the rumors about Kingda Ka? Have you heard the rumors? Have you heard the rumors? Of course I have heard the rumors. And I'm not going to comment on it because at this point right now, everything that has been shared about Ka getting removed or Lantern, anything getting removed is all hearsay. There's not any actual proof that this is going to happen. And that screenshot that went around, I'm about 90% sure that it's Photoshop that was on the Six Flags website that said, we are saying goodbye to our tallest coaster. Pretty sure that's Photoshop. Now, I want to make it clear. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it is true. I'm just saying we simply do not know. That's like me saying, oh, Orion is going to get removed next year. Is it true? Maybe not. Maybe it is. It's probably not. But again, we cannot prove that. So I'm not going to be really talking about it because, quite honestly, there's no reason to. It's making people panic, get upset, fear for no real good reason when we don't know if that's what's really going to happen. Now, again, do I think it might happen? Maybe, maybe not. It's all speculation at that point. What I will say is I highly recommend getting your rides in on Ka, on Lantern, on Twister, because at the end of the day, any ride you have on any coaster, any attraction, it could be your last. So when you look at it that way, sure, go ride Ka as many times as you want. I just rode it 41 times because the opportunity presented itself. So again, I'm not going to buy into the rumors or it's not even really rumors. It's more so just someone said something and then everyone ran with it. Even the news started reporting on it. That's how you know it went a little too far. But again, the evidence isn't there yet. Is it going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. When we do see some real evidence of any of these getting removed, then we'll start reporting on it. But as of right now, looking at Green Lantern, looking at Ka, there's no markers, there's no nothing that it's going to get removed. So we're going to leave it at that. and that's gonna be the last time I talk about it because I'm sick of hearing about it. So,
Yep, amen.
Good job, Colin.
Very
Amen.
to talk about, because believe me, I don't want to see it removed. I don't think anyone wants to see it removed. But will it happen one day? Yeah, it will happen one day. It's just a matter of when. And people saying next year, there's no proof of that yet. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that. But that's it for the topics I had. And I'm not answering any more questions about Ka. So if I see a question about
Ka is the coaster that got me going back to the park. So
Ka is the coaster that brings a lot of people to the park.
Absolutely.
It's
I
the
mean,
king.
And Ka is the coaster that has pretty much gave us a crazy day. Well, crazy busy days. It was an era in which Great Adventure was pulling so many people, it was impossible to go on an empty day back in 2005, 2006. So you got to attribute that to Ka. And of course, Toro opening up the following year.
Well, that was also because there's just a ton of investment back in the 2000s. We
Oh,
haven't
absolutely.
seen anything like that to Great Adventure in a really long time. But again,
the greatest,
no more questions about Ka. I will not
the
answer them
greatest
anymore.
1-2 punch ever. Nobody ever equaled that. About 55,
moving
60
on.
million ago.
We're going to start going through everyone's questions in the chat. So let me see if I can find the first one. Hi, everyone. It's Deshaun. Thanks, Sammy, for the time spent yesterday with you and Jason at the park. It was a lot of fun. It's great spending time with another Macy's Parade balloon handler friend.
Of course.
Let's see. Top Thrill 2 is the greatest of all time. I don't know about greatest of all time, but it's a really great ride. I will say that.
Did you ride it?
No, I've only said it a few hundred times. What do you want Great Adventure to do in 2025 besides Flash? There's a lot that could be done. I'm not sure what will be done. I imagine there will be a lot done, though, because Cedar Fair now has their hands on Great Adventure, which I imagine is a park they've been itching to get their hands on for a really long time because it is a massive park. So I imagine we're going to start seeing their vision come into the park, whatever that may entail. I do hope that the entrance plaza continues to get updated because they have a really nice start so far with what they did. And Bob, when you come to the park for the first time after they got rid of the turnstiles, you're probably going to have your mind blown because it looks so different. It's like a totally different park. But they have the Looney Tunes in front. I imagine that's probably temporary. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see a nice new Great Adventure sign in next year. Something else I'm really going to be interested to see in 2025 is how the Cedar Fair branding makes its way across the parks, because I think it's pretty obvious that, judging off the new Six Flags corporate logo, they're probably going to try to adopt that style as opposed to the current Six Flags style. So I'm really curious if the legacy Six Flags parks are going to have logo changes to reflect that new logo. I think that'd be pretty cool, honestly, to see Great Adventure and Cedar Fair font. But in addition to that, I mean, a Nitro repaint would be great. We've been waiting on that for a long time. Mine Train repaint could definitely be used. Of course, some new track for Toro is always nice. Other than that, just more, refreshing of the park, sprucing it up, new pathways, maybe refining ones that already exist, stuff like that. And of course, Flash is a pretty big addition as is. So I think there's going to be a lot going on in 2025 at Great Adventure. A lot. Ken, what do you think? Speechless.
I have no idea what they're going to do. I have no idea what they're going to do.
I should probably phrase it like this. Does anyone else have anything to add?
I hope they keep the retro bar from this year and maybe even expand on it, because I know they probably have a ton of other stuff laying around. Like, it'd be cool to if they almost like the museum that we never got, but it's in bar form, I guess. So like maybe they have enough things that they can rotate in and out what's in there and kind of refresh it every so often. I hope it's something that stays, because I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, I really did enjoy the retro bar. I like the RIP bar, but I like the retro bar a lot more.
Oh, did they obviously
did
haven't been yet? Is it gone?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the lion's also gone. I don't know where they're going to put the lion, but I hope they put it somewhere nice.
Well, they used to get
Honestly,
rid of the statue, the soldier statue that was there too, so maybe it'll come back.
Well, they have the soldier statue in the queue for Stranger Things now.
Fun.
They have like cobwebs all over it too. Let's see.
Oh.
20th anniversary celebration for Kingda Ka in 2025. That is true.
Oh.
It turns 20 next year. That's a pretty big deal considering Dragster did not make it to 20 years. It only made it to 18, if I'm correct. Yeah. So Ka did outlast Dragster.
We win.
So I was going to say that because I didn't get this allude to 25's Great Adventure.
Go for it.
I like for them to do a repaint on Kingda Ka because it's desperately needed. And also, I like for them to bring back Screen Break. That was pretty cool to have 2 haunted houses in the middle of spring. That was April of 23. That'd be great.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool event.
I like that a lot with the free upcharges.
Although, if I had to guess, with Six Flags now being in charge,
Yeah.
I have a feeling that a lot of those events that Six Flags pre-merger did experimentally probably are not going to come back.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, we'll probably have something similar to what the SeaWorld parks do, where they have the spring events, the summer events, and the fall events. The fall events are already almost identical between the two chains. They all have their tricks and treats or Kids Boo Fest. They have Oktoberfest across both chains, and then Fright Fest and Haunt. So I imagine there's going to be a lot more synergy next year as well.
Now, do you think it's going to be Halloween Haunt or Fright Fest?
You know, that's a good question. I honestly think they're going to keep them separate because remember too that like Knott's has Knott's Scary Farm. It's not called Haunt.
It's
Scarowinds.
Or
Scarowinds.
do you think some of the legacy Six Flags parks will adopt like the scare name into it?
I mean, they could. Which one would really work for that though?
Six Flags Greatest Scarica. I don't know.
Six Flags Fiesta Scare Texas.
Yeah, no. Maybe if it rolled a little naturally, maybe, but I don't know.
It's like a perfect analogy. Like, look at unfortunately, I hate this name, United Parks and Entertainment, formerly known as SeaWorld. Look at Busch Gardens and look at the SeaWorld parks. You see they're separate, right? I can see that with Six Flags and the Six Flags Legacy.
They are separate names, but they have the same events. Like they all have Halloween Scream and.
I just wish they went with Dream Street for Scream Street.
That would be
name missed opportunity.
Well, there's always next year.
There's always next year.
Moving on. Colin, do you think Great Adventure is going to be crowded the next 2 weekends? I mean, especially if Stranger Things and the other two open next weekend? Probably. It all depends on the weather. This weekend, the park was pretty dead, and that's because it was very rainy and miserable out all weekend. But if we have some nice weather weekends coming up, it's going to be crowded. Hopefully, at least for the park. Because I know Fright Fest is their biggest time of year, and they need those crowds to come in.
Come October, everyone realizes Halloween is right around the corner, and they start going to the park.
Exactly.
They want their Halloween.
Runaway Train should stay. It's a part of the park's history, and you can't beat that insane airtime hill. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It'd be more of a hassle to remove that than to keep it. Let's see. I watched all your videos, but I've never been in your lives. Well, welcome to your first live stream. Hope you enjoy it. There's some more cost stuff. I'm going to skip that. What's new for 2025? The comedy thing will open first. I do think it will be Flash for sure. Flash already has a screen on the track. So, let's see. Here we go. Planning on going to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. Mainly excited for A Quiet Place and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I've never been to Horror Nights. I really want to go. With college and everything, it's very hard to make the time to go. But out of everyone, I believe it's just Ken that is gone, correct?
No.
Oh, you've gone too, Ace?
Yes. I had the express pass with a friend of mine, God rest and bless his soul. Oh, my God. He was a Halloween baby, by the way. And, man, I thought that he would love Halloween more. No. I have pictures of it, too. It was just exquisite. Like, the scare actors, they really, really go all out. And then the houses, unbelievable. Like, the jump scares, is none of these parks have anything on Halloween Horror Nights. The closest to Halloween Horror Nights, I have to say, is the Adventure Dome. That used to be, it's still there at Las Vegas. It used to be the Terror Dome for Halloween. But yeah, Halloween Horror Nights is great. That's where it's at.
Ken, what do you think of Horror Nights? Ken
froze.
I think
he's gonna jump scare us.
I think you might be right.
Wait, no, I saw
Twitch. Move on. Let's see.
Ken, can you hear us?
Ken? Yeah, he's gone.
Is that just me, or is that everyone?
Are you back?
That was
yet?
just you. Nope, he's half gone.
Yeah, you might want to just try to reconnect.
Did you ask me something? I just appeared.
I did ask you. I asked you how's Horror Nights.
Oh, Horror Nights is a wonderful experience, and everyone wants the IP haunts, and I'll say Halloween Horror Nights does a better job on the haunts that they build themselves, because they can do things that you don't expect, and they don't have to get approval from anyone. So, and the haunts are very long, very, very long, and by the time you're done with one haunt, and it's also a lot of walking. Bring your comfortable shoes when you go to Halloween Horror Nights.
Good to know. Let's see. Question: who put a roller coaster on a Burger King? Well, that would be the House of Frankenstein in Niagara Falls. They certainly have an interesting strategy. I'll give them that.
It makes me interested in going.
Yeah, it's really. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh no, that was all I had.
Oh, it was really a nice experience. I went last year. I know Colin and you and your dad went. And listen, it just starting off with a maze and going up to a coaster, really nice. I was impressed.
Absolutely. And actually, I just was reminded of something. Apparently, there's a zombie Mr. Six at Great Adventure. I don't know if he's there every night, but I know he was there Saturday night, last night, during the Scares for Cares. Wait, no, not Saturday night. I think it was Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. Because I saw pictures kind of being spread around of the zombie Mr. Six in costume, which looked awesome. But I should stop talking because we got a super chat. Thank you, Zach, for the super chat. I bet Sammy has never ridden Ka 41 straight times. I bet Ace has never ridden Ka 41 straight times.
It's funny. He just spent $2 on a thing he could have texted me.
Actually,
yeah, Ace, what's your record on Ka on Monday?
35 this year. And I actually did it the hardest way that all you guys did. I literally had to go online for every time because every train kept on filling up. So I had to go around and around. And actually, it wouldn't let me stay on. So I had to go around and around. So pretty much, especially the way they have the new Flash Pass entrance. So probably like about 25 out of 35 rides, I had to literally go around and around. So I'm telling you, I probably would have did 50 if I had the opportunity. 50 stuff straight times, forget about it. One train on the track, that'd have been great. And the fog.
It was excellent. I will say that.
I know I did 3 rides in the fog on Friday. So
moving on.
Yeah,
hi, Colin and Sammy. I am Josh, who met Sammy on Saturday. Please say hi. Hi. Dark Nights had good mazes for sure, but I think the park could be decorated more. Probably could space out those scare zones. Well, the scare zones are pretty spaced out. I mean, you have one in the hollow. You have the cluster of them in the back. I feel like there's one more I'm forgetting. But they do have a lot of the scary stuff more condensed into one area of the park, which for the audience that Hershey attracts, I think that's probably a good idea. There's typically a lot of families, and say they do stay into the time where Dark Nights is. It's nice that they have a pretty big area in the park where they can kind of avoid all that stuff, because at the end of the day, not all kids like that. And I actually like this approach better. Hang on, Tom. Sorry. I like this approach better than what some other parks do, like Great Adventure, for instance. I think that the way they have the scare zones kind of set up throughout the park doesn't make too much sense, in a sense where they're not near the scares, the haunted mazes, like Demon District, for instance. You're only ever going to go through there if you're going to ride Jersey Devil. Same with the pirate area down by the Buccaneer. You're only going to walk down there so often. So I think it's smart the way Hershey has it set up, because if you're going to the scare zone or the haunted mazes, you're always going to walk through the scare zones, which I think is a pretty genius strategy. Tom, did I cover what you were going to say?
Oh, well, there's also kind of a new area called the Avenue of the Afterlife, which is pretty nice. There's like some scare
adjacent. Boardwalk.
Yes, there's some scare adjacent stuff in there. So if you want to, if you're with a group that has like a younger audience or whatever, and they're not quite into the scary thing, but want to sort of dip their feet into that, there's some stuff in there too. So, and some pretty good food.
And don't forget Fallout Zone over by what is it, Kettle Horse?
Yes, more
awesome.
More parks need those fog bubbles, because those are awesome.
Yes, the fog bubbles are awesome.
The fire is also great.
Oh, the giant inferno ball that just spits up out of nowhere is insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When you're in the water park and that flame goes off, you can feel it. It's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I've been going to Hershey Dark Nights even before Dark Nights for what it is now, and before they had mazes, and that fire has always been great. It's really, really beautiful to see that fire go, and you feel the heat from it.
They've
Especially
been doing
near,
that fire for a while.
yeah, way before they started having the mazes. Oh yeah, I've been going to Hershey Dark Nights like since before the pandemic. Been going
Well,
forever.
Hershey Dark Nights only started in 2022. Before that, it was Hershey Park Halloween.
Actually, this is year 3.
I mean, even
You're-
before
you're
that,
all
they
wrong.
had.
Well, 2022, 2023, 2024.
I mean, before they used to have
Yeah,
Hershey in the
Mac's tough
Dark.
sometimes, you know.
I mean, whatever they had, I forgot the name of it, but 2019, I know I went for the Halloween, but they only had that going with the fire. That I remember. They did have that right there near where the what is that, lightning racer? So they always had that with the fire.
Alrighty, moving on. I recently did Cosmic Rewind and Tron at Disney World for the first time. Both were incredible. Highly suggest going on them in the future. Hopefully next year I'll get down to Disney. We'll see. I haven't been there in 8 years. It's been a while, so I am due to go back.
Both of them are incredible.
They look great.
Yeah, Guardians is great.
All right, I'm going to throw this question to Bob, since Bob is the native Cedar Pointer. You think Top Thrill 2 will reopen next year?
I mean, I think that by literally, okay, so we've been closed, about 6 months now. If by another, 6 months, 6 or 7 months, they have still not figured this out, Zamperla is going to get sued and be out of business because this is quite ridiculous. I'm pretty sure by then they will have it figured out of some sort. Now, are they going to have to work more kinks out? Probably. But they're not going to give up on it, obviously, with how much money they've had to spend, and they're not going to go crawling back to Intamin to have them fix what they just spent a ton of money on as it is. So, yeah, I do think it will reopen next year.
Definitely well put. I agree. I would be shocked if it doesn't reopen next year. Will you come up to New England for Quantum Accelerator? Definitely. It's great to see that they're finally getting a new coaster. It's been a long time coming for that park. What are your thoughts? Oh, I kind of forgot about this. On the new family inverted coaster coming to BGW. So I want to start out by saying that the campaign they're doing where they're letting the public name the coaster is really cool. Even if they wind up just picking the one they like and saying that's what people voted for, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But I do think it's nice that they have the different name options out there. I personally like, was it Wolfstrom? I think that's what it is. And my second pick would be Wolfsrain. I don't like the other one. But I do think that judging off the animation, it looks like it's going to have some really nice theming. At least I'm hopeful that it will. Pantheon also had nice theming in its animation, and it looks the way it does. So we'll see. But I do think it's nice that they're paying homage to that, to Big Bad Wolf. There's other rides I would have rather seen take up that space for sure. But I think it'll still be a nice fit for the park. Anyone else?
Yeah, is that a B&M or B&M, right?
B&M family inverted coaster, just like Phoenix Rising, but with 2 lift hills.
Okay.
Wait, does it have the swinging seats or no?
I don't know. Wasn't made very clear. I just feel bad for Six Flags Mexico, but Cedar Point gets it because of course they do. Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that.
One day.
I am so flipping excited for Siren's Curse. That ride will give Cedar Point an excellent top 4 with that, TT2, Maverick, and Steel Vengeance. I don't know that it'll be top 4. Don't
Millennium
forget Magnum.
exists.
Magnum's great.
I think
I'm going to reserve judgment till I ride it because none of us have ridden any of those high thrill new gen Vacomas yet. We really don't know what they feel like. I know they're glass smooth, but that's about all I know about them. So we're really not going to know till we ride it, just like with Flash. So we'll have to wait and see. Top Thrill 2 is 2024, just open for 8 days and closed for the rest of the year. I mean, I personally view it as a 2024 coaster because I rode it in 2024. So, what's going on with the catering area? It seems different. They have 2 haunted mazes back there now. It's the Asylum and Saw, which I actually just did right before I got on the stream. That's why I kind of had to rush home from Great Adventure. But Asylum is a phenomenal maze, and they have that whole area kind of opened up now. I believe you can access the bathrooms too. It also gives you some pretty neat views of Flash from the queue for Saw.
The real OGs remember Asylum in the chiller station, and then back where Freefall used to be. Those were pretty.
Remember, that was the one maze that scared the crap out of me.
Yep.
But I believe that they are keeping like a lot of the stuff is similar to what it was from back then. But it's
Fun.
easily the best maze at the park.
I'm excited for that.
I went back to Great Adventure History today, and they have pictures of the old asylum and the overlook of the maze. It's pretty neat to see how it's evolved over the years.
Did you see anything you recognize from the current one?
No, not really. That was a lot of chain link fence. It was like a maze.
Yeah.
And lots of fog. Lots of fog.
I honestly think a mock striker, hyper, or extreme spinner would be a perfect ride for Vortex's replacement. I have a feeling that Six Flags might start working with mock a lot more in the coming times. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see some more mock coasters across the parks, both the Legacy Cedar Fair and Six Flags ones. We, of course, saw that really stupid-looking mock extreme spinner shuttle coaster concept for a couple of the Six Flags parks. I don't think that's a good idea to do that at any park. We'll see. But I do think that one of these coasters would be great for Vortex. If not one of these, I could see a new gen Vekoma fitting there really well. But honestly, a mock striker with like a Rivertown theme would be so cool right there. What do you think, Bob? Since you go to Kings Island a lot more than I do.
Again, everything comes down to capacity. And that's the only thing about the like mock extreme spinners that I love Time Traveler. It's one of my favorite coasters, but I don't know how they'll do it if they have to deal with capacity, because Kings Island is still a busy ass park a lot. I don't know. It's such a weird. It's weird to me that they haven't done anything there yet. Like that plot's just been sitting there for what, 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
And the fact that they just have not done anything, and even like Don Helbig before he had left a few years ago, had told us there was no plans through at least 2024 for that plot of land. So
Well,
I
time's
imagine
up.
I imagine they're going to use it pretty soon, but at the same time, with the way these parks have been doing things, like think about like what Carowinds did like 2 or 3 years ago, and in terms of like putting an entirely new land in together, you know. And I know Kings Island just expanded the one part of the park over by Coney Mall there, whatever, Adventure Port or whatever. But I could totally see them doing that too, and not necessarily even putting in a big coaster. So who knows? But I really hope they do, but we'll see. They're not going to do anything that overshadows Beast too much, I don't think, being where that's at.
And they better not do that stupid Beast 2.0.
Yeah, I agree.
That is just stupid. Oh, Ken's cat
I was
is here.
Yeah, very nice cat.
She's hungry.
I was just about to say something about the Beast 2.0. No, please don't do that. Just leave it the way it is. Put a new coaster there in that old Vortex plot of land.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of these would be great. Like I said, I could see all the Six Flags parks starting to add more mocks. They're really comfortable rides. They're really reliable. They're expensive, but you're paying for quality. And recently, B&M's coasters have kind of gotten a reputation of having a bit of a rattle. And in the past, that was Cedar Fair's kind of go-to manufacturer. So I would not be surprised at all if they start going more for mock, because you look at a ride like Copperhead Strike at Carowinds, it's held up great over the past 5 years. So really, any of the Six Flags parks, keep an eye out. They might be getting mocks.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say that.
We have a lot of questions in the chat.
I'll make it real quick. It's just amazing how the big three of B&M, Intamin, and RMC, they're either intense or they have a little bit of rattle on them. This is going to be really intriguing to see what the new era of Vekoma is with the smoothness. So I'm really happy about that and excited about it.
Crazy how I'm a coaster enthusiast and a Devils fan, and someone on the Q&A is also a coaster enthusiast and a Devils fan. Well, two of us.
My
Tom indoctrinated me into being a Devils fan too.
Yes, hopefully I find myself in the same spot every year where we're hoping it gets better. You're not the only hockey and coaster enthusiast. There is actually a lot more of them out there, as I found out, which is super cool. So keep doing that. Go Devils. Go Devils, go coasters.
Let's see. I'm trying to find a question that's not asking about Ka. Let's see. I think the Top Thrill 2 situations on both sides, like Zamperla was in over their head, and Cedar Fair shouldn't have gone with them. So it's a tough situation because there were, from what I understand, there were a lot of manufacturers that put bids in on the project, Intamin was one of them, and a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't they just go with Intamin? Supposedly, Intamin wanted to do a layout extension that would have resulted in the removal of Iron Dragon, which also probably would have meant that Siren's Curse would never be built because it would probably go in that spot. But Cedar Fair didn't want to do that, so they wound up going with Zamperla. And I agree. I mean, I think that going with Zamperla for a project of this magnitude when they've never done something on this scale, huge risk on both parts. So, I mean, playing the blame game really doesn't accomplish anything. It's just let's hope that they can get it fixed and get it open next year, and then everyone will be happy. Let's see. I still and will always call it Intimidator 305. I mean, I have a feeling whatever they call it, I'm still just going to call it I-305 because it's always been that to me. I hope they keep 305 in the new name just somewhat because that's a pretty big part of the ride's identity.
I think they missed an opportunity just theming that little area to like space, kind of like Orion, and then call it like Interstellar 305. You can still refer to it as I-305.
True.
See, I always call it. I know it's officially, technically Project 305. I just say 305. How about that? It's always going to be 305 no matter what.
Let's see. I mean, they can retheme backlots to Safari Jeeps, and Flight of Fear would have to be, I don't know. Yeah, Flight of Fear is the one that kind of complicates things. Backlot wouldn't be terribly difficult to retheme, but Flight of Fear, I really don't know what they would do with that thing.
Aliens have landed in the jungle.
I guess that's one way to do it.
Super secret military base in the jungle.
This doesn't really go into the rumors, so I'll talk about it. Kingda Ka has built up a strong reputation over the years with the people that have Great Adventure as their home park. It's iconic and one of the staples. No other coaster should sit in its spot.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Slip up. Sorry. I agree. I think Ka is it's a part of the park's identity. When people think Great Adventure, you see that giant top hat in the skyline, you know that it's Great Adventure. And, it would be very unfortunate if it does wind up getting removed. I do think that the Top Thrill 2 situation is hurting the chances of this having something similar, not necessarily from Zamperla, even if it was something from Intamin. I think the whole situation with Top Thrill has kind of maybe discouraged Cedar Fair from wanting to go that route with another one of these coasters. And now they only have 2 hydraulic launching Intamins under their belt. They have Accelerator and they have Kingda Ka. And Accelerator just came back from a lengthy closure. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they might want to consolidate the resources they have and just focus on one of them, because maintaining both probably isn't cheap. Again, I'm not saying either or is getting removed. I'm just putting all this out there. But I agree. Kingda Ka is definitely very iconic, and it would be a shame to see something else go in its spot. Let's see. Oh, now this is all Kingda Ka questions. Here we go. What's the most times you've ridden Toro in a row? Mine's 16 times. I want to say it's 30. What's so funny?
I got your record.
Okay. Congratulations.
You don't have me. Like,
what's your record?
116.
Not you. I know yours, Sandy. What about you, Ace?
Oh,
You talking about mines for the day or in a row?
It says in a row.
Oh, in a row? 35 in a row.
Oh, I got your record, Ace.
What you got in a row?
50 on Cinco de Mayo this year, and on ride 49, I had the worst Charlie horse and pushed through. And it was a terrible choice.
Did you do non-wheel? Did you do wheel seat?
For most of it, non-wheel seat.
Okay. That's the best way.
Well, Sammy
How
has
about
the
you,
ultimate
Tim?
pace. You're never going to beat 116.
116?
TJ's is like 147.
Yeah, it's insane.
How did he get to 147?
He just
It's called riding El Toro.
You do nothing but sit at Toro, I guess,
Jeez.
for the day, which I could never do. Like, I want to do more than just Toro, but
yeah.
You're going to be bleeding by the time your day's over, so you're going to have cuts and everything. Riding over 100 times. I've known people that have gotten beaten up that badly.
I don't know how you ride him that many times. I guess I'm
old. Well, I know Jameer got beaten up badly riding 86 times. He told me he was bleeding. That's how bad it was.
All right, moving on. Let's see. Removing Ka would also remove Zumanjaro. That is true.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Let's see. Thoughts on Goliath's new colors? I forgot about that. That's right.
I've
Georgia,
not heard of this.
I don't know if I can find a picture very easily.
I've heard of over Texas or Fiesta Texas Goliath, but not over Georgia Goliath.
Oh, is this the one that's like teal and black?
Yes.
Okay. Black supports teal track, right?
Yes, I think that's right.
Now I'm gonna see if Google has it.
Like
Is that going to be? Is
They
that going
showed
to
it
be
off
still?
at their coaster event.
Yeah, they did announce it at the coaster event.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna
yes. Teal and black. Wow. They
So-
even had, or no, the official names are turquoise blue and tarpaulin gray,
What?
Interesting.
and they have
It's like
hex
Orion,
codes
or,
for
like
all the
Leviathan.
colors.
Tom, does it let you stream on your end? Like a presenter
No,
stream?
I'm on my desktop, which is separate, unfortunately. But if you Google Goliath S Fog repaint, you'll get it. It's a Reddit post.
I do want to
Yeah.
show the guys on the stream what this looks like. Oh, here it is on
You
Reddit.
can barely make out. You can see the hex code for the tarpaulin gray, but not the turquoise blue.
Oh,
There we go.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm looking at.
wow.
It looks like they even photoshopped this image to have the new color scheme. That actually looks really nice.
It does look pretty good. I can vibe with that. And and they're keeping the orange on the train. That's nice.
They're doing the opposite of Nitro. They're
As
not
in they're
repainting the
actually
train.
repainting it. Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
Well, they're repainting the track and supports, but not the trains. Whereas Nitro repainted the trains, but not the track and the supports.
I guess.
What about the Goliath repaint at Fiesta?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's right. That too.
Yes, Fiesta's also repainting their Goliath. If you had a nickel for every Six Flags park repainting their Goliath, you'd have 2 nickels.
Almost 3. Magic Mountain was supposed to.
Isn't this
It's still
similar
a
to the?
lot.
Isn't it similar to the old Riddler's Revenge at Magic Mountain? The old one, the black and green. It kind of
Not
reminds me
really.
of it. Oh, okay.
I guess to a point, but not super on the
I missed that. I missed those colors.
Let's see. Moving on. What's wrong with Superman? Those have been closed lately. They're having an issue with the powers to that ride. They've been trying to work through it with JCP&L, who's the power supplier for that area, and they're still working through it. But I know it did open once and then closed again, so hopefully we'll see it open at some point during Fright Fest. What's the chances of them replacing the Sky Ride? Well, the official statement, because when people asked about Ka to the park, the official statement was we have no current plans to remove Kingda Ka, and that we are currently working on refurbishing the Skyway. So there will be a refurbishment to the ride at some point. They have not said that they're getting rid of it. We just don't know when. So this is probably like a Busch Gardens Tampa situation where it's going to be closed for a little bit and then eventually just reopen kind of out of nowhere, hopefully. Do you think the Nitro repaint is possible for next year? I think it's possible. I really hope it happens. I think Mine Train could probably get a repaint too. Because look at it this way. They're not really getting a new ride since Flash was supposed to open in 24. So all that CapEx that they would have for the new ride, they can spend on refreshing the park. And they spent a lot of CapEx in 2024 between Log Flume, Giant Wheel, and all the other stuff they did. So I'm sure they're going to have a nice new batch of money to work with and get some more stuff done.
I will say kudos to the park for keeping the log flume open, because Austin sent me a Snapchat like after he got off of it like 2 or 3 days ago, and I'm like, wow, it's still open. So that's
Yeah, it's going to be going all through Fright Fest.
wow.
And the night rides on it are very fun, I must
Yes,
say.
they are. I rode
Yeah.
it once this season before I moved.
Yeah, I finally got a night ride on it. It was really nice.
So do you like the new entrance? Do you think they're going to tear the whole thing down? So judging off the fact that they've been painting little parts of it here and there, I'd kind of be surprised if they tore it down. But this is Cedar Fair, so we don't know. I would not be surprised at all if they went for more of a Cedar Point or Carowinds style of entrance, or even Canada's Wonderland, where they have the big sign and, you know, much more open. Because the building that they have there right now, like, I love the look of it. I think it has a nice, charming look, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they try to go for the more, like, not generic, but I don't even know how to describe it other than the Cedar Fair look. That's probably the best way I can put it.
The modern look.
Yes, the modern Cedar Fair look that Cedar Point and Carowinds have heavily adopted. Love the new paint scheme for 305, but it would have been super cool to see a retheme of the ride and area, including Flight of Fear to something like King's Island, Area 72. Just like you said, Sammy. Yeah, I do think that would have been nice. Let's see. Can you explain Kingda Ka's original queue? Oh man,
Yes.
that's a difficult one to explain. The best way I can do it is by going on Great Adventure History and showing you guys some pictures. That's probably the best way to go about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ace, do you want to try to explain to them? Because I know you rode Ka.
Well, I'm gonna start with a word. Discombobulated. Yeah, one line going to the current station, and then he had another line going under the track, and then to the left because that station was occupied back in 2005.
This picture should help. So,
Wow.
Why is this not?
It was pretty interesting. It's got two sides too.
It was a very long queue. Very long.
Yeah, it was.
This right here is the entrance we have currently, and this set of switchbacks is what is used now. Originally, it went all the way back here, kind of where Zumajaro's queue line goes, and then cuts in right here under the launch track. I have been in this tunnel before. Then it had a whole bunch of switchbacks and all that. This is in front of that transfer area, so if you've been on Ka and you see like the maintenance area right here, over here there's like basketball courts and stuff that they use now, but all of that was the original queue for Ka. It went all through here. It was absolutely massive. And then you get up here, and that's where the split is for the two different station sides. And there's this observation area, pretty much where the current queue kind of goes through. Let me see if there's more pictures of it on here.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see the tunnel right there. That goes under the queue. There's some of the switchbacks that were in the middle of the queue. They also had this thing right here is like a little snack stand, kind of like what Toro used to have. It was absolutely ginormous. And they didn't use it for very long.
I forgot about the carvings, the animal carvings.
Yeah. Oh my God, a lot I forgot about. Remember, it was a 5-hour line, gentlemen.
Of it right here.
It was 5 hours sometimes, that line.
Holy mackerel.
And then it would close
It
down.
was insane. It was insane.
That is for sure. Moving on. You know why this maintenance with Zumajaro has it closed for the year? Well, as far as I know, it may not be closed for the year. It could reopen after Fright Fest. The only thing that's making it not open during Fright Fest is the fact that they're using its queue as a second entrance. So starting probably this weekend coming up on Saturdays and Sundays, I believe, they're going to park you at a certain time towards the Ka lot, right along the return trip of Ka. Then you're going to go in kind of near where the Safari base camp is, right into Zumajaro's queue. You'll have a metal detector there, get scanned in, and then you walk all the way down Zumajaro's queue into the park. And they'll also have that open for you to exit as well at the end of the day. That way you don't have to walk from the main entrance all the way back. And if they ever have to park you at the harbor lot, which they will do if it gets crowded enough on Fright Fest nights, then they'll have you walk from there into the park at the Ka lot, or the Ka entrance. Or
wow.
We should call it.
Yeah.
What's the best new Fright Fest maze? It is the Asylum, and it is not even close. I will say the IPs are cool, but the Asylum is just so well done.
Well, you haven't done all of them, so you can't really say.
Well, the only one I haven't done now is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that one's not ready. I've done all the other ones. Conjuring I only did with the one actor, but I've done all the other ones.
It could be the best one, though.
What, Texas Chainsaw?
Yeah.
It could. It could.
Are we the only Six Flags park that got it?
No.
What else got it?
I think Over Texas will end up getting it.
What's the name of the maze in the old Mach 1 adventure?
Army of the Dead.
That one was my favorite.
Army of the Dead has really impressive sets. I'll give it that.
Yeah, that scared the crap out of people running out of it. They ran right out. They were so terrified. The group that I was with. Oh man, it was funny. They literally left me behind. They were gone. They were so scared.
Okay. Do you think that they should bring back shows all year? So they kind of did with the 50th stuff, but I know what you mean by shows. And Cedar Fair tends to have a lot of those throughout their parks. I know Kings Island definitely had them. Bob, did Cedar Point have any like shows throughout the entire year?
You're asking the wrong person. I went 3 times and I was never there past like 4 o'clock because it was like packed to capacity.
Well, they have that big stage over by
where Siren's Curse is going.
Yeah.
They were supposed to have a new show on there. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they
But it wasn't
probably
like anything like in the past when they did like the blowout shows at the end of the night.
Yeah,
and
didn't they have
stuff.
like a Top Thrill 2 show on there?
They might have. They also had that Top Thrill 2 human crane game as well. But I imagine there's probably going to be an increased showing of shows at the park once the new Six Flags team starts to really get their feet wet with everything. Do you have any idea when Ka and Toro will close for the season? Wondering if they will keep them open till the weekend after Fright Fest ends. It's a long way for them to be closed for me. Yeah, so they haven't confirmed anything yet, so I can't say for certain. We'll see. They may surprise us and maybe have Ka and Zumajara open for holiday. I don't know. We'll see. Usually, obviously, they don't. Ka and Toro, I believe they have to be at 40 degrees per Intamin in order to operate. That's the minimum temperature that the outside temperatures can be for them to operate. But they have not publicly stated when Ka and Toro will close for the season. And there's also, correct me if I'm wrong, no bonus weekends this year. At least they're not on the calendar yet.
They'll
After
probably
Fright
get
Fest,
added soon.
well, maybe. We'll see. Actually, I do want to check just to verify. I do believe that they
Whoa.
have them on the
For 4
calendar.
days. The Veterans Day weekends, 4 days, Colin.
Yes, I know. What I'm saying is they usually have those bonus weekends.
Yeah. Two of them.
Well, it's just one
Yeah.
weekend that they're closed.
Oh,
The
okay.
16th and 17th of
Well, Fright
November, Saturday and Sunday.
Fest is going after Halloween this year. Fright
Fest is going.
Yeah.
So Fright
So you
Fest
lose
ends
one
on
weekend.
Saturday, November 2nd. Then the park is open for whatever reason, actually. Or no, it ends on Sunday, November 3rd. Sorry. The park is open on Thursday the 7th, Friday the 8th, Saturday the 9th, and Sunday the 10th from
Yep.
11 to 7. They're closed
It's
that
Veterans
following
Day.
weekend.
They're always
Yes.
open Veterans Day.
Well, it didn't click for me. Sorry. They're open those days. Then they are closed the weekend following, and then they start holiday in the park on the 23rd.
So it's a
Mm.
bonus weekend
Oh,
this year.
hold up.
Yep, Tom, you ready? There's the horn. Would love to see Batman, Robin the Chiller resurrected.
We all would.
I don't think it's going to happen between Flash being where it is and all the new rides that have been built up in that area. I don't think it'll happen. Believe me, I'd love to see it too. But especially now with Six Flags, Cedar Fair taking over, I just don't really see it happening.
Yeah, but
Maybe
since we've
something in
all
the spirit of the chiller, like something that uses that name.
yeah. Now it's hard now. I know well, Colin, you and Sammy, y'all have never ridden the Chiller, but I'll tell you one thing, after riding Mr. Freeze and the Reverse Blast a million times, I don't know about that. I'd love to have Mr. Freeze at Great Adventure if he ever has a resurrection or whatever you want to call it. Because that's the best premiere as far as I'm concerned of all time.
It's called the Flash Vertical Velocity opening in 2025.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how great that is.
Flash definitely pays homage to the Chiller. It could even be better.
Yep.
We don't know.
It's the replacement, pretty much, yeah.
They can still buy Speed the Ride. It's for sale.
That's true. Probably have to spend more money repairing it than you would buy it to actually get it running. But anyways, moving on. Thoughts? Oh, I forgot about this. Thoughts on Six Flags New Orleans demolition. So they are finally demoing that park after.
Really? I didn't hear about that.
2005.
I didn't hear about that either.
Yeah, there's probably news articles out there about it, but they are going to be demoing it. I think they're replacing it, unfortunately, with like apartments or something. Unless it is like a mall. I don't remember for sure. It's one of the two, but definitely not an amusement park. It's sad though that, something that had a lot of significance. I would have liked to see it come back as a park and, someone come in, buy it and redo it. But that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. Lots of Superman questions. Here we go. Do you think the new Six Flags will see other customers respond to the IP mazes and expand them to the Legacy Cedar Fair parks or get rid of them? I think it's definitely going to depend on how they do this year. Great Adventure and Magic Mountain are probably the two parks they're looking at the most closely since they have the most. But I'm really excited. From what I understand, the IPs are very good to work with. They've been great for the park, and they do a really cool job with the mazes. So I imagine they're probably going to keep them on as long as they can. They already got Conjuring and Saw back for the second year, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if they continue to have them again. Tom, super chat once again.
Yep.
Thank you for the super chat, Jenna. Justice League and Dark Knight are outdated. They got to go. I wouldn't call Justice League outdated. It's
Inconsistent is better, probably.
yeah, I would call it more. A nice refurbishment would be good for it.
I
Dark
also
Knight.
wouldn't call Dark Knight outdated either.
I know Dark Knight, the movie, has been, it's old, but I will defend that movie to the day I die because it is my favorite movie. So I don't ever want to see that ride go. I would like to see some of the effects.
Please, I beg you.
What?
I said watch more movies. It's still a top 10, top 5, but no, I'm being a jerk.
Moving on. Thoughts on the new Monsters Inc. inverted coaster? This makes me so happy because Monsters Inc. was probably my favorite Pixar movie growing up, and I always thought it'd be so cool to be able to ride the doors, and the fact that they're actually doing that now is so cool. It's a little late, I'm not gonna lie. This would have been really sick 15, 20 years ago, but still doesn't take away from the charm of it. I will definitely venture down there to ride it.
In the little model, it shows a piece of track going outside of the building, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna go through a door and then you're gonna come back out. It looks awesome.
It does. I'm really excited for it. This is unrelated. Well, nothing's unrelated. It's a Q&A for anything. But can you make a remastered video for on-ride filming someday? I would, but everything I said in that video pretty much still applies. All the parks that I said do allow filming still allow filming as far as I know. So nothing's really changed. It's just equipment getting better. But you're still going to want to use either a chest mount or a hand mount, and that's about it. But again, a lot of parks will not allow you to. So watch that video if you do want to know which parks do and don't allow you to film. What do you think the longest line Kingda Ka ever had is?
6 hours. About 6 hours, easily.
Opening
That's
day.
what I've
Might
heard.
have even been more.
6 hours.
But
You said what?
Opening day, the line went out to the entrance to the Golden Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's gonna be a good Brian question.
Yeah, I was there on opening day, May 21st, 2005. I was the 10th person that got on the second train, front row, right seat. First time ever.
Top 10 day in Ace's life right there. The opening day.
You got that right.
That's when
I
it
got
all
to that park.
started.
Man, Mr. Khan started back then. Yeah, I was at that park probably at 7:50 in the morning because I had to take the bus there, the New Jersey Transit bus from the Port Authority. We get there 7, and we got into the park at 9 because you had season pass previews. Early opening.
But we have another super chat.
Okay.
Thank you, Jenna, for another super chat.
Yeah.
Killer and King
Oh, we have a
Wow.
celebrity in.
That's impressive. That's bragging rights right there. Not many.
Yeah, I got that. Both sides and Ka.
You did that all on the same day?
Yes, because you had to do Kingda Ka first, then El Toro, then Chilla, because everybody was at Ka's line and Toro. It was all filled in, by the way. All the queues for Ka and Toro filled in. Then you did Nitro. Everything else fell down. Everything else was empty, like Medusa, Scream Machine. It was nothing by the time you got to those rides.
I
Those
do need to
lines
make
were
a
short.
correction because if I remember correctly, in 2006, Toro and Chiller never operated at the same time.
Do you
If I remember correctly,
2006?
Chiller
They
closed
did.
early
Oh,
in
wow.
the
I'm
season
trying to think.
and didn't reopen for the rest of
Hold
the
on.
season because then it underwent that modification for the 07 season. So it only operated for the first couple months of the year, and then Toro wound up opening in June.
6.
That is
Probably
true.
did it in 2000. You know what? No, 2007. 2007, I
Maybe
did them
2007,
all.
but it would have only been Robin because Batman never opened in.
Yeah, well, I rode the Robin Chiller or the aforementioned Ka and Toro, Scream Machine, Batman, etc. It's Superman, whatever those were the big ones. Yeah, I did that within 2 hours. By the way, I would run around.
We're
2
gonna
hours, I was done.
move on because we have a lot of questions in the chat. I'm going to go to Fright Fest this coming weekend. What houses/mazes are the best to do? Well, like I said, Asylum is definitely the best. If I had to pick ones that you should do first, if you want, this is coming from more of the better experience as opposed to, hold on. We'll come back to that in a second. We have another super chat. Thank you, John Boy 10, for the super chat. I got on late. Did you talk about the rumor about Ka being removed in 2025? Yes, I did. You're going to want to go back to the beginning of the stream. You'll see on the bottom here, where you see your question, you're going to see it says the elephant in the room. That's where I talk about Ka. So if you want to hear me talk about that, go back. I just don't want to continue to talk about it. Going back to what I was saying, if I can find it.
Watch the replay.
Yes, watch the replay. Where is this? Here we go. If I'm talking like you want to have the best experience, you're going to want to go to the mazes that are fully indoor first. So the ones that are fully indoor are Army of the Dead, Big Top Terror, Witch's Reflection, Conjuring to a point. Because those ones, the lighting outside isn't going to affect them because they're fully indoors. Meanwhile, stuff like Saw, Asylum, Stranger Things, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Actually, Trick or Treat is also fully indoors. So you could do that one whenever too. But the ones that aren't fully indoor, you're going to want to do later because that's when the darkness will really help the mazes shine. It doesn't make too big of a difference. Like I did Asylum and Saw today at around 6 o'clock while it was still kind of light out. And it really didn't hamper the experience at all. But if you want the full, completely dark experience of Fright Fest, you're going to want to do those a little later.
So how was Asylum with the full cast of actors?
It was good. I wound up going through with a pretty cool group of people as well, and it was quite a few of theirs first time, and they were very, very impressed by it. Asylum being the best maze came out of nowhere. Great job by the park, absolutely. And at Media Day, we got to talk with the people who designed the maze, and they were very happy to hear the positive reception to it, and they just did an excellent job designing it. You could tell that a lot of love and care went into it.
I thought it was better than Brighton Asylum.
That's pretty good. It's a great question from Johnny. Since we were on the Halloween topic, do you believe in ghosts? Yeah, to a point.
Isn't that what Ken is?
Huh?
Is Ken not a ghost?
He might be.
Supposedly there's ghosts at Great Adventure.
Supposedly.
Bob, do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Fair enough. Ace?
No.
Oh. All right then. Moving on. If you had to choose, would you rather be the Kennywood mascot or the Lake Compounds mascot? They have mascots?
I was going to say, I need to
Is
Google
Kenny
those
with the
numbers
giant
right
like
now.
foam arrow?
Wait, I think I've seen that actually.
Well, I guess there is the Kennywood kangaroo, but I don't.
Kenny
I guess Lake
kangaroo,
Compounds have, like the
yes.
alligator or the
Yes, there is
crocodile.
the
Crocodile
arrow.
Cove? I don't know.
That
I'd
is
rather
the
be
Lake
the arrow. I
Compounds
think that'd be the most
mascot.
fun. Dance around on the side of the road as a big yellow arrow.
Just because you can't ride Steel Curtain doesn't mean it's a mascot.
Oh, Lake Compounds has the alligator. Okay. Yeah, give me
Do
the
you think
arrow.
the 50th anniversary was rushed? So I'm going to say no because the circumstances they were dealing with the merger, just think about it this way, right? When you have two major companies merging together at the same time as a park trying to put together a major event for the year, you're going to run into issues specifically with the budget because with all the different funds being allocated to accommodate the merger, obviously you're probably not going to be able to spend as much as you normally would and all of that. So I think considering what they had to deal with the 50th, plus Flash being thrown at them last second and that probably taking away from some of the budget for that, I think they did a good job. Could they have done better? Sure. I mean, obviously anything could have been done better in any situation, but I think for what they had, they did a good job. I really enjoyed the shows. I liked the little things they put around the park. It was nice. Moving on. What's the best Zen ride you've ever had? It was actually probably the one I just had today. I love going on Log Flume alone because it's, especially if it's at night, because it's so secluded. And Tom, I think, yeah, it was Tom, Sammy, and a few others of us at Thrillathon 2020.
That was the greatest Thrillathon ERG.
Yeah, that was
We
so
were just
fun.
marathoning Log Flume.
Changed
Then we
my
were on
mind.
Mindstream, but on Log Flume, we all had our own boat. It was excellent.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have to think about it for a little bit, but that reminded me that, yes, that's my answer.
Dude, that was the most premium experience I've ever gotten on the park.
Get launched in that
Bob, I
boat
saw
on
you
your
were
own.
trying to jump in. What's yours?
I was trying to remember if when we had that ride on Outlaw Run, if it was just us with the fireworks going, because I feel like it
actually
was.
might have been.
I think it was just us four riding it with the fireworks going in the dark.
I got to cut you off for a second because
Man, you were
Thank
making
you.
bank
Again,
tonight. with
Jenna, for
these.
the
Holy
super chat.
crap!
is Log Flume still open? Yes, it is. It is still open.
Yeah.
It'll be staying open for the entirety of Fright Fest, barring maintenance issues.
Now, as for my best Zen ride, El freaking Toro. in the rain, downpouring. Seconds before they closed the park, I was the only one on in the front row getting pelted.
I think my favorite is it was me and Brandon at I-305 last ride of the night. It was just us, pitch black, fireworks going off, front row. Like you could not beat it. There was no way to beat it.
Sounds pretty awesome. Do you think any other parks will get a big new 2025 coaster? Well, they've all been announced for the most part. There's 10 coming to the Six Flags parks. There's the Busch Gardens Williamsburg one. There's a whole bunch. 2025 is a ginormous year for new coasters. So they did bring Mr. Six back as a zombie. That's so cool. Well, I don't know if they really did, because I know the corporate team was doing a film shoot at Great Adventure on Thursday night, and that's when Mr. Six the zombie was spotted. So that could have just been for the shoot, and people happened to catch him and take pictures with him. Not 100% sure, though. Here we go. Here's a whole long list of haunts. Ken, you want to rate them? Oh, wait. This is Clifton Hill. You might not know these, actually. I just realized that this is all just Clifton Hill, not haunts. They do have a lot of stuff up there.
I did
Clifton
Carnival
Hill
of Chaos when I was there.
You did? How was it?
It was really fun. It was really fun. I did that instead of the Frankenstein coaster.
You could have gotten your credit count up, though.
Wasn't worth $25 for me.
Clifton Hill, for those of you who don't know, is the kind of like tourist trappy area in Niagara Falls. That is where the Burger King coaster, Franken coaster, is. Recently went on Nitro, my new favorite ride. Glad to hear that. Nitro is always great. Let's see. What do you think of the Six Flags, including themed houses based on the IP mazes? If I had to give my rankings of these IP mazes, I'd say, and this is after only going through each of them once and maybe not with the full cast of actors. So when I go through them again, I'll probably have different opinions. I just haven't done Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I'd say number 1, probably Trick or Treat. Number 2 would be Conjuring. Number 3 would be Saw. Number 4, Stranger Things, and number 5, Army of the Dead. My only issue with Army of the Dead, I just feel like there should have been more actors because the sets are ginormous. It's these really big rooms. And I think if they had like a ton of scare actors in each of them just coming running at you, that'd probably enhance it a little more. Stranger Things is really cool. I love the franchise, of course, but it's more of a cinematic walkthrough as opposed to a scare. And it's also very short, I will say that. But it was really, really cool.
I think they're asking why the idea of including themed houses, not the rating of them. I don't think they should do it. I don't think they should do it.
I agree. I would rather see the custom.
I think they should have a model like Dorney and Hershey have, where all the houses are free with entry and you pay for the express.
I would love to see Deceased, though.
Yes. That sounds amazing. I hope there's like a walkthrough posted on YouTube of it because it sounds amazing. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. I get what you're saying about that, but I think it makes the park feel more lifeless when all the mazes are in the back. I guess this is pertaining to Hershey. I get that to a point because when I was walking back from like the main Dark Knights area in the middle of Hershey Park, like it definitely was a little more dreary and not much going on. But again, I still think that's more so to appeal to the fact that they have a very wide array of different clientele, including families, and they have to cater to the families as well. Hey, all, hope you're doing well. What area of the park at Great Adventure would you like to see new stuff at? I'm going to let Ace go first. Ace, what do you think? What area of the park at Great Adventure would you like to see new stuff at? I think you're muted. Yeah, Ace, you're muted.
Oh, that was me. I was getting a snack. The boardwalk. The boardwalk needs it badly.
Strongly agree.
Because I know there's going to be a lot of changes in the future. You said what?
Strongly agree. Boardwalk could definitely.
Can you? Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
What do you guys think? Otherwise,
I agree with Golden Kingdom.
I think Golden Kingdom and Boardwalk kind of go hand in hand since they're next to each other.
Mhm.
Like if you were to rip out the Boardwalk, you can very easily expand the Golden Kingdom into the Boardwalk, especially because like there's that kind of gravel lot by Green Lantern, and if you kind of went through there and say, well, you know, Green Lantern might get removed eventually anyway. So if you were to get rid of Green Lantern, that's a pretty big plot of land from the Boardwalk all the way to like by the rest of the Golden Kingdom and Kingda Ka to work with. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they wind up going that route.
I would love nothing more than for
Mm.
new flat rides and maybe like a nice family coaster to go into the Golden Kingdom just to overtake what used to be Ballin's Jungle Land, because there is so much room over there for something like that.
Personally, what I would like to see happen, if Green Lantern has to be removed, fine. Otherwise, I'd put sit-down trains on it. I'd get rid of Superman because I don't like Superman. I'd get rid of the Right Stuff building. I'd almost level the entirety of the boardwalk. Put a Vekoma tilt coaster by where Superman is facing the entrance, maybe even going over it towards Flash. And then where Green Lantern is, maybe a mock extreme spinner or something. I think that'd be awesome. And then continue the theme. Either have it be an Air Force theme or continue the Golden Kingdom into that zone.
What about like a retro theme?
In what way?
I don't know,
Great
like-
Adventure?
Yeah, you could do like an area of Great Adventure that's stuck in the 70s or something like that. Or like stuck in
That's
the past.
unique.
Like, doesn't even have to be 70s. Like you can make one of the rides Great American Scream Machine. I don't know, something like that.
That could be cool, actually.
Right? And then you could make a retro bar over there, a museum.
That would be cool, actually. I do like that idea. Let's see. What happened to Medusa's fire? That's a good question. I don't actually know. It hasn't been on for a really long time, though. Ace is a time traveler confirmed. What confirms that Ace is a time traveler, Mike?
He said he rode Toro the opening day of Con. Toro wasn't open.
Oh, yeah. Or the fact that he rode Toro and Killer in the same day in 2006, which wasn't possible. So he had a time travel.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Maybe this isn't the real Ace. Maybe the real Ace is actually riding Vortex right now.
Real Ace is on Stardust Racers right now. This is just distraction.
Maybe. Maybe Ace has a twin brother.
Maybe.
Mace.
His name is Ace.
East.
Wow.
Ace and Ace. Anyways, it's enough conspiracy theories. Moving on. Can't believe Goliath at Fiesta, Texas is getting a repaint before Nitro. Do you think they'll retheme Goliath in the future? Well, I'm pretty sure Goliath is getting a retheme. That's what Jeff Siebert's been heavily hinting at. So we're going to have to keep watch. Oh, and another super chat. What do you
A
know?
new record. It's a
Thank
record.
you, Jennifer Ortega, for the additional super chat. You don't need to keep sending super chats. Mock extreme spinners are garbage. I hate so. I love mock extreme spinners. I've only been on Time Traveler, but what's nice about them, see, I don't mind spinning coasters, but for people that don't like spinning coasters, they don't spin like crazy. It's not a free spin. They are controlled spins.
Yeah.
So if you don't like free spinning, you'd probably like the mock extreme spinners. We lost Ken.
No.
I'll tell you one thing. I had my best, and I got a record too. Time Traveler rides on it this year. I chewed my bubble gum because I get dizzy easily, but it's an excellent ride. I really enjoyed the fun in the back.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still talking about the previous
Time Traveler. Well, no pun intended, and I was alluding to Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City.
Oh, okay.
They are excellent, great coasters. They're great.
All right, moving on. We already did that one. Intamin over Zamperla. Well, Intamin's been doing this for a much longer time than Zamperla in terms of big coasters, so it's not really a fair comparison.
Best.
Do you think the Cedar Fair and Six Flags merger will eventually fail, meaning they will break the merger if things don't go good? No. I don't think the merger is going to be broken. That merger is sealed.
They could
and
sell
I imagine
cars.
by the end of next year, there's going to be some major changes to the Six Flags parks that will make them almost unidentifiable to what they used to be. So we'll see what happens. Moving on. We already talked about Nitro. Do You think they should bring back Ballins Jungle Land? Yes, they should.
Yes.
But the same way it was, I think changing it up a little bit would be nice.
And whoever said it with the coaster is an excellent idea. Whoever said that, one of you guys said they should bring. Oh, Tom said they should bring put a coaster there. That would be great.
Family coaster would be nice there.
Yes, that's what I was alluding to. Yes, that would be great, like a Snoopy coaster.
Well, no, I mean like a Big Bear Mountain.
Oh, even better. Oh, absolutely. You can't say no to that.
Or a Bobcat.
Bobcat's great. That's the best of its kind, but that's for another time. I know you can't move on from that.
Moving
Where
on.
did Tom and Ken go?
Yeah, I don't know where Ken is. Colin, will you and your dad be going to Falcon's Flight Media Day and the opening for the ride? I'd love to, but that is not an easy place to get to.
Colin's already booked his flights.
Yep. I'm going
Colin's part of the Coaster Illuminati Society that's probably already written it.
Yep. All those conspiracy theories got me. They're all true. Of course, sarcasm. But moving on. What Six Flags park do you think needs the most help? That's a very difficult metric to come up with.
Oh,
off the bat, it's America, but they're starting to get help.
I'd say Darien Lake.
Yeah, I could see Darien.
It has too much potential to not do anything with it. They need to do something with the freaking park.
True. Very true.
Yep.
Let's see. What are your opinions on Flash Vertical Velocity? Do you believe that it will be one of the best? I don't want to say that right now because after all this time of waiting for it, I don't want to build up this image of my mind of it being something that it's not going to be. So I'm going to go in thinking it's going to be a fun ride. I don't know where it's going to rank, but I'm excited for it. Just leave it at that. I know it's going to have great airtime, great hang time, solid launches, and that's about it. I also just did Saw today. The views of Flash are sick, and the pig dudes are trippy. They sure are. For those of you asking about the Kingda Ka removal rumors, go back to the beginning of the stream and where you see the elephant in the room on the bottom of your screen. That's where I talk about it. Let's see.
Where's Zach's commenting?
Do you think they will eventually make the fence around Flash higher? Because right now it's really low, and you know the issue about people hopping the fence and retrieving their phone and stuff. I don't really think it's going to be an issue because all of the danger zones have the chain link that they need. So at the end of the day, if they do decide to hop the fence, they'll just be walking on mulch, which isn't necessarily dangerous. It's not allowed, but it's not like they're going to get hurt doing that. Moving on. I really hope that the Beast 2.0 is a Rickroll from Kings Island because it looks absolutely ridiculous. I agree. I think it looks ridiculous too. So what's going on with the bricks? That's a good question. There haven't been any new bricks put in a really long time. I ordered a second brick and it's still not there. I'm going to try to find out from the park when the next batch will be put in because as of right now, I do not know. I wish I could tell you. Plot twist, the Beast 2.0 is actually the name of Ken's cat. Well, too bad Ken's gone because I'm just now getting to all the comments about Ken's cat. I forget Ken's cat's name. Let's see. Oh, Ken's not here to answer this question. It might be Wildcat, though. I keep on seeing the guy on the top right every time I ride Toro. Well, that was Sammy previously. So here, I'll put him back. There you go. Yeah, Sammy's on Toro a lot.
Am I? Or is that
usually? Whether you're working
for the Coaster Illuminati Society.
Is Bob happy right now? Bob is definitely not happy right now because the Browns.
I'm on like 3 hours of sleep, and I'm like, I don't really care about like haunt stuff too much, and we're not really talking about like, the Ka rumors. So I'm just letting you guys go about anything Great Adventure related, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I'm sure you're not happy about the Browns either.
At least Sam Darnold's a pretty good quarterback, huh?
Yeah. Oh my God, you are just such a freaking bragger. I knew you was gonna brag about them darn Vikings. I'm happy for you, Tom.
Thanks.
Something 3-0. What is it? 4-0?
Yep.
4-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, playing great this year. Been dying to tell you that.
Moving on. What camera do you use the most often for on-ride POVs? So It depends on the POV. Usually I'll use the Insta360 for anything you see that has like the moving camera where I have the reaction POV and the forward-facing POV. I use that a lot for reels as well. But if I'm filming just a straight up POV to post as a independent POV, I'll use the GoPro HERO 11. That's my camera of choice usually. Colin, are you going to Great Adventure on October 18th? It's open from 6 to midnight. Actually, let me look at when that date is. I don't think I will be there.
Oh, you should go because I might potentially go. Potentially.
I may not be able to, actually.
I'm actually going. If for my other hockey hybrid enthusiasts, I will be at the Devils Capitals game on the 19th in Newark. I might even go see them play the Capitals the week before in DC. We'll see.
The 18th probably will not happen, unfortunately. After reviewing my schedule. The Great Adventure, you think of Kingda Ka and Toro, unlike Cedar Point, who has Millennium Force and Steel Vengeance. Well, Cedar Point also has Maverick and Top Thrill and Magnum. They have a lot. Great Adventure, you got Toro, you got Ka, you got Nitro, Devil, depending on who you ask. So,
And you'll have Flash.
Well, I don't know if I'd put Flash up there with those ones, but Flash will be good.
Yep.
Did Goliath steal Nitro's repaint? I guess maybe it did. It's not too far off from what Nitro was supposed to get. What do you think about the i305 repaint? If you go back to the beginning of the video, you'll hear my thoughts on it. Great Adventure should renovate Jersey Devil a bit and fix the pothole right before the stall. That ride is way too new for the park to renovate it. I mean, then again, Fiesta did just retrack all of Wonder Woman, so you never know.
They just redid the trains.
Smoothest glass.
So
Yeah.
kind of got some work
The ride
done.
was so good.
Was the original queue for Ka longer than American Eagle's queue at Great America? Because that queue was long.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though American Eagles queue is long, but yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't know because I've not been to Great America yet.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, Great Adventures, Kingda Ka's old line was just, oh my God, it was just one hell of a track. Yeah, Ken could attest to that.
It didn't last long.
They're keeping all 4 of Ka's trains in the station, so maybe they might use both stations. So, funny you say that because it just stopped being that way. The Blueberry train, as a lot of people call it, is now off the track and taken apart on the maintenance track. So, does not look like 4 trains will be happening anytime soon. What's the longest wait time you guys have had to wait for?
The longest wait time? Oh.
Probably like 3 hours.
Dragster. About 4 hours for Dragster because I refused to leave on my second day at Cedar Point like about 5 or 6 years ago without going on Dragster final time. And I said, nah, screw it. I'm going to wait until it opens because they were having mechanical difficulties. And they finally got it going, and I was one of the first ones on. I was not going to leave it.
Oh, wait. Well, then if that's the way you
before.
consider it, then Dutch Wonderland for Bob and I with Kingdom Coaster. Yeah. We waited all day for that stupid ride to open.
Wow. 40 hours.
What was that?
How many hours?
It was a long time.
Well, it was all day. The car closed at 6. So.
Thank you, Kaylee, for the super chat.
Wow.
Joining y'all's discussions. Thank you for hosting this call, and hope y'all are doing well. Well, I thank you for being here, and I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it.
Yes.
And I'm doing very well.
It's just dawned on me that in a few weeks I could hear that horn live again, and it is so beefy in person, and I can't wait.
Where was I? Here we go. What were you saying, Ace?
In regards to waiting for Dragster, probably like 4 to 5 hours. The Colin got me beat on that one because I refused to leave without riding my final ride on top to a Dragster because it opens at 10. There's no early ride time for Dragster. The old Dragster for Cedar Point. You know, it had technical difficulties even opening up. Like we had to wait till like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon to get your first rides on it. You know what I'm talking about, Bob, when they had that year that it just would not open. It's just every day it was like it took forever to open. It's probably
Well,
like
it was
2000.
2018 or 2019. Before the
Yeah, oh
accident.
my God, that was just a headache having to wait, to at least get one ride on it.
Alrighty, I'm going to put the line in the chat for no more questions at 9:45. So send your final questions in before
Colin,
that
didn't we
line
wait a
closes.
decently long while for something in California? Because that's where I'm thinking I probably waited the longest for anything.
I don't remember the lines in California being very long, other than X2, and that wasn't even that long.
That wasn't brutal though. That wasn't the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I still think it's Kingdom Coaster. When I had to wait, Bob and I waited all day for it to open. It opened like an hour before.
And we almost still didn't get to ride because one damn restraint would stay closed.
Yep.
Where's the Kingdom Coast at again?
Dutch Wonderland.
Which I was supposed to go to today until rain, so it'll have to wait another day.
Moving on, do you think that Northern Star Arena will be demolished, or will new Six Flags use it again?
Demolished.
I don't think it's ever going to be reused. I do think eventually there will be a coaster there, but I don't think the park's next coaster will go there. That's where I stand on that right now. I think the next coaster will go somewhere else. Moving on. I saw that Kingda Ka control board on the left side has some lights. It's still set up. They still use it to transfer the trains on and off, so they are fully functional over there. It's just programmed in such a way where it does not use that for normal operation.
It works better the way it is right now.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk about this since it's technically not Ka. What about Green Lantern? Again, same thing as Ka. There's no definitive evidence or proof. I do think out of all the coasters at the park, though, Green Lantern probably is the next one to go, so I wouldn't be surprised. But again, there's no evidence, there's no proof yet that that is the case. When that becomes apparent that maybe there is evidence, then sure. But right now, there's not. But I will ride Green Lantern as much as I possibly can, as you can see in the videos. There's a water park replacing Six Flags New Orleans. That's cool, actually. Better than nothing, that's for sure. All right, this is an interesting way to spin it. Would you rather Kingda Ka become a reliable triple launch coaster or get removed and a Giga is built? How should I put this? I would like to see the tower stay in whatever way that may happen. That's what I would like to see. Does that mean that's what's going to happen? No. But I would like to see a Top Thrill 2 style ride. Honestly, the original proposal for Top Thrill 2 from Intamin, where it has the extended layout, that sounds the most appealing to me for Ka. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if I had to pick, that's what I would pick. Could a Giga replace it, though? It could. It definitely would probably be a better ride than Ka. I love Ka, but if it was anything like Fury, or even if it was from a different manufacturer, like, say, Mach, if it was anything like Hyperia, that'd be insane. But I would rather it be a triple launch like Dragster, because you're not going to get something that big all that often.
I personally...
Go ahead, Ace.
I missed the car, so listen. Everything that you said, the tower, absolutely, because I don't want to get crucified on the thing. That's how I feel if they took down Ka. And I like to have the layout similar to Storm Runner, add like 2,000 feet or whatever it is, and make it one hell of a coaster. That's what I would love. I don't want the spike. Give me that nice extended layout, especially if they, I don't want to say too much, but that's what yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on because I'm sick of talking about Ka. Mindbender and Great American Scream Machine were recently underwater due to the flooding from Hurricane Helen. I did see that, and if anyone here watching is from the areas that were affected, my prayers are with you. I hope you guys are doing well. But yes, they had some issues. Great American Scream Machine was not underwater. That picture was from many years ago, but Mindbender was underwater.
Oh, can I cut in?
Go for
that
it.
happened 2009. Yeah, I had just started going to like different parks of California and stuff in that decade. And let me tell you something. That was one hell of a time. I was like, oh my God, that roller coaster is going to close. And then obviously we all know that this pre-treated wood is going to be able to withstand that catastrophe, and thank heavens that it's still there. So yeah, I remember that vividly. That was like 2009.
Alrighty, moving on. What's the better Goliath, Six Flags Magic Mountain, or Titan Six Flags over Texas? I wish I could tell you, but Magic Mountain didn't want to open Goliath when we were there, so I've only ridden Titan, but I imagine Titan is better because it's just a little bigger and has an extra element.
I have ridden both.
Yeah.
And I can say that Titan is indeed better.
Yeah. Titans. I like Goliath more where it's at right next to the new. I used to say Colossus, Twisted Colossus, and right between Twisted Colossus and Superman. So I like that about it. You're looking at pretty much the ballpark when you're going down that drop at Titan. It's kind of bare, so I prefer Magic Mountains, very Giovanola.
Moving on. Every time I ride Justice League, I always see the mouse icon on the screen. I don't know if you've ever gotten that.
I've seen that.
I actually haven't ridden Justice League in a while, but yes, I have seen that before. Yes, Phantasmic. I would always go to that when I was a little kid. Phantasmic is one of the best nighttime shows ever, and it's timeless.
Yeah, that's one of the best shows.
Do you think Flash will get VR? No, they will never do VR on coasters again. That's for sure. Will a 2024 Six Flags Diamond Season Pass get you into Fright Fest this weekend? So the park is no longer doing this separately ticketed event thing. So if you have daytime admission to the park, you will be able to stay for Fright Fest. Now, that being said, your 2024 Diamond Pass, that will not get you free access to the mazes, but you will be able to stay in the park. And they're not going to make you exit and re-enter. If you do decide to get a maze pass, you'll go to one of the gift shops inside the park and buy it from there. And you get a wristband. Of course, I took the wristband off already, but you'll get one of those. Moving on.
Colin, are you at home or are you back at the dorm?
Oh, I'm at home.
Okay.
I don't think I'd be able to stream from the dorm. It's too loud.
That's why I wondered, yeah.
Looks like Great Adventure and Magic Mountain are the only two parks to drop. Oh, I think you mean Great America. Wait, what? I guess that is Great America. Magic Mountain now has front row parking. Oh, wait, I see what you mean with the Prestige Pass. I don't know. I think Great Adventure is probably just going to keep preferred because front row parking, I think, is just gimmicky. Sammy, what ride do you work at currently, if any? Sammy's how do you put it? A freelancer.
I'm at college.
Exactly.
That's the best way to put it. I'm at college.
That's your dorm with all those posters on the wall?
Yeah, do you like it? There's another one. Right there. There's a Velociraptor one in front of me.
I can tell there's so many words going through Ken's mind, and he just doesn't want to get them out.
Emoji.
Whoa! What just? Ace, can you repeat that?
Just give me a second. I'm eating my What is this called, Brandon? I'm eating my cocoa wheats right now. Let me clear my mouth. Ken is the quintessential emoji. Hold on. Ken is the quintessential emoji. He makes so many faces. It's so funny.
And there was our random Ace moment of the stream.
Oh my God.
Getting late.
Let's see. My best Zen ride was on Wildcat's Revenge in the pouring rain. Those nighttime rain rides on Wildcat are always unbelievable. That ride is just ridiculous.
Let me ask you, how many rides would you say you got in the rain and the dark? How many would you say, especially last year?
Probably 10.
I probably got like 20 plus.
Oh, you know what?
I rolled the hell out of that.
I think I got 21.
Yeah, probably got like, who knows, 25 because I drove a lot in the rain and the dark.
It was 26. It's 26.
Right. We were probably in the same boat. I rode a lot last year in the dark. It was awesome.
Yeah, I definitely got like one more than you. That's for sure.
I probably got
Anyway.
like 30. Who knows?
Maybe I got 31 then.
No, I got a lot.
What is each of yours favorite coasters? I'll start. I can't really decide. It's between Velocicoaster and Iron Gwazi. Ken,
That's easy.
GRA 325.
Sammy,
Velocicoaster.
Bob,
Velocicoaster.
Ace,
Yeah, it's between. Well, it would be Iron Gwazi, but I'll take it a little bit over Fury.
and Tom.
X2.
Wow, Tom's very different.
Yes. Half of it was the anticipation of getting to it, so.
Fair enough.
Tom, what did you sit on? What did you sit on X2? The back or the front or the middle?
I think the back. I think
Oh,
we sat in the
sweet.
back, right?
Yeah, we sat in the back. Both
It
times.
wasn't janky. It wasn't rough.
No.
No, it was actually good.
Oh, they
Yeah, it's
fixed
not
it.
rough in the
That's
back.
great. You didn't bang your calves, so they fixed that part. That used to be the calf banger towards the end. I'm glad they fixed it.
Moving on. Codaland, Lost Island, Wallaby Island, Dueling RMCs. There are a lot of new coasters coming, and there's a lot of RMCs. I know Sammy was talking to me about this.
Yeah.
I was telling him, like, we should have made this a point today.
Well,
This is
you
the
had
most RMCs
Yoi,
in a long
which is probably
time.
one of the stupidest names for a coaster I've ever heard, but Yoi coming to Wallaby
Yoi.
Holland. Those are the
Yoi.
Dueling Raptors. You have the one going to the park that starts with a G in Asia. I forget what it's called. I probably can't pronounce it. And then there's, of course, Lost Islands. So lots of RMCs out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a nice park. I went there back on my 25 park 15-day challenge back in mid-May to early June. And let me tell you something. You guys, I didn't get to ride it because I have enough time, but I'm sure you would love that game, that Justice League version of it. Like, I think it's a Chinese, Asian-themed game. Oh, you would love that park. The park's exquisite.
Good to know. Moving
Oh, yeah,
on.
definitely should visit that.
Do you think they will be adding another coaster Great Adventure besides Flash? In 2025,
Yes.
no. It's just, well, in 2025, no. It's just going to be
Oh, no.
Flash. But in 26, yeah, maybe. Do you think Skyrush or El Toro better? El Toro.
Of course, El Toro. Of course, easy. It's a slam dunk.
Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Also, making car rumors. Again, go to the beginning of the video for that, where you see the elephant in the room. That is where I talked about it. Great Adventure should make their benchmark Asylum for next year's Fright Fest for the expectations. I agree. I would love to see Wicked Woods come back. For those of you who haven't been going to Fright Fest as long as I have, Wicked Woods was the maze they had back underneath Log Flume, and probably my favorite of all time.
Hold
See,
on.
I thought that one was always overhyped.
Thank you, John, for the super chat. Hey guys, hope all is well with you. Same to you. Do you think next year's Fright Fest will feature a DC Comics themed maze? You know, I really don't know, honestly. It depends on what Cedar Fair wants to do. I think it would make sense. I would love to see Deceased come to, oh, okay. We have another super
man.
chat from his brother, actually. I'll get to that in a second, Brian. I would love to see Deceased come to Great Adventure, but it really all depends on what Cedar Fair wants to do. And moving on to Brian. Thank you, Brian, for the super chat. Sammy, where's your El Toro poster? I want to see it.
That poster would definitely be back at my actual house. I'm in my dorm right now, but it does indeed exist. And Colin has seen it. He got it at East Coaster.
Yes. Moving on. How would you rank the 8 coasters coming to the Legacy Cedar Fair and Six Flags Parks 25? Well, it's actually, isn't it 10? I think it's 10.
I think eight is right.
No. Because,
Yeah.
wait. Oh, wait, no, it is 8. Sorry. I had
you
more.
have 4 from each.
Yeah, you're right.
If we want to include Top Thrill 2, then it's 9.
I think, you know what I think is going to be probably the best one? Rosh Hashanah. Excuse me. I always keep saying Rosh Hashanah. I mean, Wrath of Rashasha is going to be the best one.
Wrath of
It's
Rakasha.
Wrath of Rashasha.
No,
Did I say it right?
I call it Wrath of Rakasha.
Rock.
You said what? Rosh
Rakshasa.
Rock, as in like there's a rock in the ground.
Rakshasha.
No shot.
Rakshasa.
Rakshasa.
Rock.
Oh my God.
Rock Sasha Baron Cohen.
Come up with a nickname, will you?
Rakshasa. Wrath.
Just call it
Wrath.
Wrath.
Wrath. Give it Wrath. It's gonna be called Wrath. Oh my god.
I personally believe the best new coaster from Six Flags will be Alpenfury for sure.
Alpenfury, I forgot about that one. You're right. You know what? I will take that. I agree with you on that one.
Oh,
forgot
we have
about that
another
one.
super chat.
Oh man,
Wow.
I can't do
Thank
anything else
you,
on my computer. I gotta
Brian.
keep the horn going.
Tom, how are you doing?
How am I doing? That was I thought that SpongeBob bit. It was like, how you doing? How am I doing? No, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking, Brian. Hope you're doing well too. All's good here.
Thank you, Brian, once again. Moving on. I would like to see Houdini at Great Adventure be turned into the Midnight Mansion for Fright Fest like New England does. I've heard about that, and that sounds awesome. Like,
Did it
That
ever
would be
reopen?
great.
What do
That's
they
a
do?
great idea.
They
What do
do
they
a
do?
Fright Fest overlay of Houdini and retheme it to the Midnight Mansion.
Is Houdini open again?
It is.
It is open indeed with all the effects working.
I don't know if that's
Finally.
fantastic or not, but I'll figure out eventually.
Moving on. It's still my dream for them to pick a Intamin Blitz figure 8 model where the stadium is and call it Rodeo Whip, so something Western. I don't know about the figure 8 model, but I agree. An Intamin Blitz, something like Velocicoaster, right where that arena is, perfect.
Just
Absolutely.
call it Frontier
Absolutely.
Blitz.
And the beautiful thing is, what makes that area exquisite is that you have all that. You have that lake right there, and you have the lock from. That'd be great. That's the perfect area for it.
Definitely would.
Sweet, probably better than Universals.
Moving on. All right. Well, this isn't really. This is not about the rumors per se. Do you think that if Ka and Green Lantern are removed and a Giga was built, would that make Nitro obsolete?
No.
That's so. The way I look at it, all the other parks that have B&M Gigas also have B&M Hypers. Kings Island, Diamondback, Leviathan, Behemoth, and why am I blanking? Orion. Wait, did I say Orion and Diamondback?
You have
Fury and Thunderstriker. One of the two.
Thunderstriker and Fury.
So no, I don't think so. The only thing I have an issue with is the fact that the hypers at all those parks I just listed have the staggered seating, so they're a little different than the Giga counterpart. Whereas if it were to be a Great Adventure and if it were to be a B&M, it would have the same trains, same track style, and everything. So that would be a little strange. So that's why personally I would rather see, if Great Adventure does get a Giga, I'd rather see it be from a different manufacturer. And like I was talking about with Mach, I think Mach would be sick to see a Giga from, especially after we saw the layout they did for Hyperia. Could you imagine something like that at Great Adventure? That'd be nuts. But I do think there are other rides Great Adventure could use more than a Giga. I'd rather see a Blitz come first. But I don't think
and you have one more real quick. I alluded to it with Johnny when we were speaking on the telephone. How about you have a Giga RMC
I don't
hybrid?
think that's ever going to happen.
Do you think it's possible?
No.
Like not the wooden version, but the one similar to the one down in Georgia, like it was steel.
No. I agree with Ken. Moving on.
Wow.
Tom, I heard you're hyped for the Rangers Cup run.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to die off at the conference final.
I'm going to pretend that I know what that means.
I know Chris Heslin would love this one. I got to tell him about this.
How long was the line at El Toro on opening day? Ace?
Wow, that line, I wouldn't really know because I'm always the front run. I'm always the first one. So I hauled ass all the way out there. I was like the 5th person I ran over there.
From pictures, it was to the plaza.
Oh well, yeah, both
And it was on
queues
one
probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours because all the queue was filled up.
No, it
By the
was long.
Yeah,
time-
it was all the way to the Plaza del Carnaval sign. So that's probably
Yeah, it was long as hell.
When it went on one train, that's probably like
4
hour wait right there.
Yeah,
How many hour wait, Sammy?
4.
3 or 4.
Wow.
Also depends how fast the crew's going.
Oh man, I can't comment on that. I wish I could. Probably off the stream.
Moving on. I always thought the Golden Kingdom should have gotten a flying coaster like Flying Dinosaurs at Universal Japan or something over the midways. Well, they kind of shot themselves in the foot because they built Superman, so they couldn't do something like that. I always thought getting something like Tatsu would be amazing, but it would never happen because Superman exists.
Or
That's
FLY.
another reason I don't like Superman.
Yeah, Tatsu is the best. Absolutely, Tatsu is day and night compared to Superman. Unless you're talking about Flying Dinosaur, to me, it's my favorite B&M flyer ever.
I kind of think the animal section of the Golden Kingdom is going to disappear.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really used anymore.
It hasn't been used really in years, so it's like wasted space.
You used to have Kingda Ka in there too in the animal section. That was really nice seeing Kingda Ka.
He's talking
Remember
about
Kingda Ka?
the ride.
They should really have the safari go out of.
No, not the ride. Talking about the tiger. That was cool. You remember Kingda Ka, Sammy?
Do I remember Kingda Ka?
The tiger.
But
Maybe
like
when
the
they say
logo?
they're removing Kingda Ka, maybe it's the animal.
Sending him to the Bronx Zoo. Top 3 favorite haunt events at amusement parks. Well, I've only been to 3. So Dark Knight's Haunt and Fright Fest.
I'd say the same.
Yeah. Let's see. What park do you think Siren's Curse should have went to? Well, it's a very long list. If I had to pick one, yeah, that's a tough one. Valley Fair or Worlds of Fun really could have used it on the Cedar Fair side. On the Six Flags side, I mean, America, New England, St. Louis. There's a lot of parks. Moving on. I got the most insane ride on Joker, just spinning constantly. I wish it was always like that. When you get a good ride on one of those free spins, it is something else. I had 2 rides on Joker today. The first one was pretty good. Let's see. When will you be down to go to BGW? I wanted to get down there for Halloween this year. I don't know if it's going to happen because of college and everything. I'll probably go down when the Wolf Coaster opens. Do you think with Flash being delayed to 25, that'll give Six Flags more of an incentive to have their coasters open earlier on in the season? Well, considering Six Flags is essentially now Cedar Fair has always prioritized getting their rides open early in the year. So I don't think this is really going to affect anything because Cedar Fair has always done that. So if anything, this is just
next year it's not opening with the park.
Well, Siren's Curse is a whole different ballgame, but everything else will open with the park, more than likely.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see. Why? What do you have doubts about?
They set a precedence, not opening with the park. Getting lazy.
But you have to also understand, Ken, it's not a Flash situation, so they are starting a little ahead of time compared to when Flash got their permits and everything. Wow, it took forever for them to start Flash. It's going to be tough, but they have a better chance of opening than Flash, obviously, with Great Adventure this year, having to be postponed to next year.
Alrighty, we're going to move on. We have 2 questions left, and then we're done. Starting with this one. Are you going to Six Flags Great America anytime soon? I might go next summer. I also might go next summer. I would like to get there for Wrath of Rakshasa's opening because that's the last big Six Flags park I haven't been to. I'm only missing, well, at the Legacy Six Flags parks, I'm missing 3. I have not been to Mexico, La Ronde, and Great America. 2 of those might change next year. I'm hoping to get to La Ronde and Great America next year. Mexico, I really don't know when that's going to happen. Traveling down there's a little difficult. In terms of the Legacy Cedar Fair parks, I'm just missing Michigan's Adventure, Valley Fair, and Worlds of Fun. That's it. It's the last 3 I need.
Yeah, I'm definitely going next year because I'm missing Santa's Village and I'm also missing Little America. Got to get those credits, and also Wrath of Raksasa. And I've been to every.
Just say Wrath, please.
Wrath.
Stop trying.
I'm only missing, obviously, from the old Legacy Six Flags park and the Cedar Fair park is Mexico, Six Flags Mexico. Everything else I've gotten to. So, you know, Bob, have you been to all the Six Flags, Legacy Six Flags and Cedar Fair outside of Mexico?
I have not been to Mexico or La Ronde or Great Escape are the only ones I haven't been to.
Oh, gotta get to Bob.
Brian, thanks again for the super chat. This is a question for Bob. Hey, Bob, do you think we can see a Guardians Phillies World Series?
I absolutely think we could see a Guardians Phillies World Series. They're both. It's very wide open this year. There's no team that's like flawless or like super dominant.
Nah. I have a theory.
Mets suck. Hey, shut up.
What happened?
I said the Mets suck.
Wow.
The Mets are
who likes the Mets?
Oh, I thought you were a Mets fan.
Shut up, Bob. Well, Tom, you're gonna love this one. I think the Yankees are gonna kick everybody's ass, and they're probably gonna win the whole World
I
Series.
don't think so as a Yankees fan because I'm just waiting for it to crumble.
All right,
What if Judge and Soto get hot?
All right, let's move on, Ace. Let's move on.
All right, we'll talk about that
Final
afterward.
Question of the night, and the final question of the night is a pretty exciting one. That is not it. Sorry. Is this? What do you think Great Adventure's next coaster should be? Now, when I answer this, this is not necessarily what I think it will be. There's a big difference between what I think it will be and what I think it should be. I'm not going to say what I think it will be. I'm going to say what I think it should be. What it should be. Oh, Tom, hit the button.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Jack.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that means. Oh,
Thank you for
there's
the
someone
super
in the chat. All right, well, we're not going to bully people in the chat. We don't do that here. Anyways, back to regular scheduled programming. The coaster I think Great Adventure should get next, barring I don't get another super chat notification.
Yeah, we got to stop doing that. I live in an apartment. I can't be making loud noises at 10 at night.
I believe it should be an Intamin Blitz. I think that would just be the best fit for the park. I think it should go in the Northern Star Arena. I think it's high capacity, which is something the park really needs. It's marketable. It can be very well themed. This is something that can have the Great American Scream Machine effect on the park, where it rejuvenates the park in a way where attendance skyrockets, revenue skyrockets. It's a big draw. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
It is a universal Disney-style ride if they really wanted to make it that. Something similar to Velocicoaster with a Western theme in the Northern Star Arena plot. That is what I want them to get. Is it what I think they will get next? No. Ken,
Wow.
what do you think?
I agree 100%. A Blitz would be amazing, and that's really what we need.
Sammy, what do you think they should get next? Not what they will get next.
What they should get next. Ooh. I'd love to see, like, if they were to ever to take out Superman, put FLY in a, like, huge version of it. Like, I'm talking, like, I want to see, like, 100, maybe push that to 200 feet, just flying with, like, a consistent moving loading station.
I agree. I think that would be a nice fit as well. Bob, since you're not a Great Adventure home parker, you probably don't have much of an opinion on what Great Adventure is going to build. What do you want Cedar Point's next coaster to be?
GCI or Gravity Group in the Millennium Island plot, because we need another wooden coaster, because like Blue Streak is not cutting it, and we haven't had a good woody since like Mean Streak opened and before it got rough. I would love if they do the like dueling GCI, but I can't see them putting two sets of dueling coasters in the same park.
Nice pick. Ace, what do you think?
Obviously, I concur with you 100% on the Velocicoaster plot. Very simple.
And Tom, why don't you spice it up a little bit for us?
Yep, you all know my answer. And Bob, what you want for Cedar Point is what I want for Great Adventure. I would love to see an Intamin Blitz, but I think we need our Rolling Thunder replacement before we need the next biggest, baddest thrill coaster. So put me down for that.
And I should also add that my second pick, other than the high thrill Intamin Blitz, would be a Vekoma family launch coaster in the style of Big Bear, right alongside Ka, where Rolling Thunder used to be. It'd pay homage to the ride in the sense of being a ride that people of all ages can enjoy. Those rides are huge crowd pleasers. They're really successful. And I mean, I think any Vekoma would be great at Great Adventure, but I think that one would be really nice.
Colin likes anything that pays homage.
I do like anything.
I'm Colin. What type of Vekoma you was alluding to? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked.
Something like Big Bear Mountain.
Sweet. Yeah, that's a nice one.
He wants to name it Rolling Lightning.
Rolling Lightning.
Like Colin really enjoyed the addition of the Cedar Point Wild Mouse because it was yellow, like Twister.
Yeah, paid so much homage. But
if you ever want a good laugh, go behind the lift hill where Windseeker is and just look at the back of the sign, and it looks like the cat has the biggest like badonkadonk ass ever because of the way it's like positioned. It's really funny.
Oh boy. Remember, guys,
Isn't it, Bob? Isn't it funny with the cheese? You have the different type of cars. You have the cheese car, that a
The
mouse
cheese
coaster and
car
all that.
spins like out of control. The other
Oh
ones
hell
aren't as
no!
crazy, but the
Oh
cheese
my
car spins
god!
like way more than the other ones.
Oh
is
my
that on
god!
purpose?
I only got on it once. I can't deal with the spinning. I'm sure you not want to do that, Ken, to all the spinning.
No spinning.
No.
That's my favorite line in the park because it doesn't have any fast pass or anything. So like the line actually moves.
Well, with all of that being said, guys, reminder to everyone who sent questions, there's a line in the chat above that where we stopped accepting questions so we could end the stream at a reasonable night. If you guys do have like questions you want me to answer directly, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. You can email me at
No car questions.
What was that?
No car questions.
No car questions. I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I already gave you guys my response, but that is going to do it for tonight's stream. I'm going to let you guys all sign off one last time, starting with Ken.
Good night. Have fun.
Go to haunts.
Go to haunts. Do what you enjoy.
Sammy.
Sammy, built a thrill. See you in the Fright Fest fog.
Bob.
BK photo page on all the socials, and follow my boy Ian at Midwest Enthusiast.
Ace.
Mr. Kaya, you can find me, on Facebook. Enjoy the Halloween season. Good night.
And Tom.
You can find me at Tom's Tracks. I will use part of my plug time to thank Colin officially, Colin and Phil, for immortalizing this iconic moment from our BGW visit in 2023, where we scoured the ends of the earth for this popcorn. Thank you for immortalizing this moment. Makes my place feel more like home, so thank you very much for that, and it's always worth a good chuckle. So thank you.
You're very welcome, Tom. And with all that being said, guys, that is going to do it for tonight's stream. I thank you all so much for joining, and I thank you all for the continued support. Stay tuned for some more videos coming soon to Hollywood Studios, and have a good night, everyone.